Let's be serious. I'm making a serious point about spirituality here. So, did you call him a coin collector for the sake of Allah or for the sake of your nafs? And I agree with you.
I said for my nafs, bro. I'm not. Well, I said it for my nafs. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I said it for my nafs.
So the way to address that, this is what Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali said, right? He makes the distinction about riyah. Riyah is when you hold back from an important action, like you hold back from a good act or an act of ibadah because you're worried about your nafs or you're worried about showing off. He says that's riyah. This is Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali.
I did it because I was angry, bro. I'm not afraid to admit most of the Twitter beefs that I have and most of the beefs that I had even with the guys, it starts off intellectual and then just descends from me into personal.
So this is my nasiha to you. Is like, don't change, okay, the style of the attack if it's justified and you make your intention for the sake of Allah. Don't take yourself out of the debate. Don't take yourself out, because this is very important work, what you're advocating. And it's even much before the SNECO debate or the SNECO podcast. You're advocating pan-Islamic unity. You're pointing out that the problems with this internal division that's exacerbated by the Wahhabis and the Zionists. You were talking about this for a long time. Continue to do that. And when these apes attack you, they attack your family, they insult you, they takfir you, they say that you're a potential kafir, you respond in the same way. You give them back, okay? And this is part of the sunnah. And we know the great Sahabi, Hassan ibn Thabit. The Quraysh were mocking the Prophet ﷺ and making poetry mocking the Prophet ﷺ. What Hassan did was make poetry mocking them, lampooning them. And when the Prophet ﷺ heard this, he said, continue to attack them, yeah, Hassan. And Jibril, the angel, is with you in your attack. So Hassan is making poetry of mockery, derision, derogatory statements, humiliating the Quraysh, and Jibril is actually going to come and help you. So this is a misconception that spirituality means that you have to just always be meek and modest and nice.
No, you're right about that.
That's not the case. You can have Jibril, the archangel Jibril, who brings revelation, be with you as you are mocking, as you're deriding. But your intention, your niyyah has to be for the sake of Allah. So that's my nasiha, is just let's work on our intention. Let's work on the spirituality component. Let's defeat the nafs, the ego. But we have to continue doing this work because it's necessary. These enemies are ruthless. These enemies, they are not going to be satisfied until they see the entire ummah in under rubble. Even the Wahhabis.
But here's another approach though as well. Like, do you know who's really underrated scholar? He's not fully underrated, but I think he's so underrated for what he is At-Tabari. Because At-Tabari, I think he died at 324 AH. I can't remember exactly the years, but At-Tabari, he had his own madhab. People don't know. He had Jariri madhab. They called it. He had his own school of thought, which being followed for like 200-300 years after his death. Actually, I don't know if you know the story of Al-Barbahari. Have you heard of what happened in that?
I know they made takfir. Like Tabari was made takfir of by.
No, I don't think they made takfir of him, because the thing is, Tabari was an athar, right? He even wrote a book called the Tabsira, and that was talking about, but in a different way. He wasn't like the way, you know how Ibn Taymiyyah speaks about the Sifat, and he's really polemical against Ash'ari. Yeah. At the time, At-Tabari, there were like proto-Mu'tazilites and people that would then become leaders of the Ash'ari school, that kind of thing, right? But he never dealt with them in that sort of way. It was more scholarly. If you look at tafsir and stuff, he brings Ahl al-Ra'i, he brings like their opinions and stuff. Even in Tabsira, he does refute, but very, very cordially and scholarly, right? It's not, if you compare it with Ibn Taymiyyah was very staunch in his written refutations. But what happened was that at the time of At-Tabari, Al-Barbahari, right? Because he wrote a book. So Tabari wrote a book talking about who the fuqaha of his time were. And he put like obviously the big madhab imams, all right, but he didn't put Imam Ahmad there. So he thought Imam Ahmad was not a faqih, and he didn't put him there as like one of the major fuqaha. He put him there as like a muhaddith, not as a faqih. So what happened is that the Barbahari, he had like a rebel. They were kind of like gang members, frankly, right? And that's why you'll find that people that follow his books and follow his style are ruthless as well, because he writes like that. And he had like a squadron of ruffians that were with him trying to exact, vigilante justice. And they went to his house and they smashed his house. They threw stones at his house because of the fact that he didn't put, Imam Ahmad as one of the fuqaha. But they took so much offense to that. They got, and they kept doing it to him. They were bullying him, basically. The fact is, though, like, look at Al-Barbahari's contribution and his people, and then look at Tabari's contribution. Tabari has produced the most authoritative and influential tafsir of the Quran in the history of Islam. And these guys who wrote, like, what do you call it? Some books here and there that some people read, but it's nowhere near the same. So the fact is, like, there is a thing about rising above it, that which I want to do a bit more of myself. I want to rise above a lot more, because actually there's two reasons for it. Okay, I understand there's a time for hijab. I understand there's a time for attack, and I'm not saying there isn't. I mean, I'm like that. You're like that. Our temperaments are quite aligned in that regard. Like, we like to attack, but I think it's about picking our battles carefully. So for me, I have to protect my energy. With Muslims, I don't want to have bad feelings about Muslims. Why? Because the Quran says, رَبَّنَا لَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلًّا لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Allah, do not put anger in our hearts for those who believe. So that hadith of, the companion that before he went to sleep, he made sure that he didn't have any anger or hostility towards any Muslim before he went to sleep. And then the Prophet said about him that he was going to Jannah. So there's lots of nusus that if we say that these people are Muslim, إخواننا بغوا علينا, as what do you call it? Ibn Abbas said about the Khawarij. He said that these are our brothers, but they went against us, or they rebelled against us. I'm not saying that these guys are Khawarij, but I'm saying that if he can have that attitude with the Khawarij, then surely we can have that attitude with some people that are staunch, some people that are whatever. Yeah, sometimes we need to show our claws. Sometimes, like with racism and some inappropriate and unacceptable things, and qawmiyya and all of that kind of thing, we have to show our claws. But then I think the prevailing theme has got to be rahmah. I mean, it's got to be mercy with the believers. أشداء مع الكفار ورحماء بينهم. That we should be, we've got to be like merciful towards or they were merciful towards the believers, the companions, and that they were staunch with the disbelievers and merciful towards the believers. And there's a lot of things in the Quran like that.
My approach, when you have a faction that's coming out, okay, and is telling the Muslims that, hey, these Palestinians are grave worshippers and they are deserving of oppression because of their faulty aqidah. Yeah. And they're telling Muslims that we need constant civil war, nonstop civil war, because you don't have the correct aqidah. And this is making it easier for the enemies of Islam to attack and to occupy and to genocide. Then it is a mercy on the believers to refute this group, to refute them and to utterly humiliate them for their dishonesty, for their deviance. That is a mercy to the believers, to actually let them run rampant and to let them go unopposed because you're worried about, oh, they're going to attack me, they're going to say this about me, they're going to come after my family. That's not mercy for the believers. That's mercy for yourself. I agree with
that. I think there are some people that are just beyond the pale. Like, for example, like you said, when Najdi Dawah becomes takfirism, and now you want to kill me, no, that's where I draw the line. Do you know what I mean? But I have to have evidence that you are on that sort of level. When you want to make tabdi'ah of me, and you're basically saying that I have to be treated like a fasiq. Okay, I might not hate you in my heart, but I'm going to deal with you like the way you're dealing with me. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, look at what they did, bro. It's not just with Palestine. Like, look at what they did to Yemen. 300,000 Yemenis, many of them Sunni, massacred because of the blockade that was imposed 10 years ago by Saudi and like a Gulf coalition against Yemen. 300,000. And it was justified. Again, you cited the fatwa from Fawzan about the Yemenis. Look at what they did to Iraq. Look at Ibn Baz's fatwa in 1990 about the U.S. coming and setting up bases to go and attack Iraq in the first Gulf War. And then later in the second Gulf War, they gave a fatwa. They said that,
which makes no sense, actually. Yeah.
The fatwa was not only that, okay, forget about the Tawalli issue, that you're allying with the U.S. as it goes and attacks Muslims. They gave the fatwa that the Iraqis, Bin Baz gave this fatwa. The Iraqis are atheists. The Saddam, not only Saddam is a kafir, not only is he a mulhid, but
Saddam
also
maybe,
the Iraqis.
I don't know.
So
if
they
the
do
Iraqis,
mass takfir. They do mass takfir of nations to justify a Western invasion and
But
occupation.
Albani, to be fair, he was anti all of that.
Yeah, well, he has exiled out of Saudi as well because of some of his opposition to this. So, but yeah, you can't, as you made this point, you can't paint them all with the same brush. But Bin Baz, like, this is on his record. Fawzan, it's on his record. The Wahhabis that are supporting this, it's on their record. Like, they will be seen. It's not just one country that has been destroyed because of this Wahhabi mindset. They justify, and it goes all the way back to Abdulaziz ibn Saud. Okay, let's talk about the second wave of Wahhabism and World War I. It was Abdulaziz ibn Saud, okay, the descendant of the original Ibn Saud from the 18th century, who allied with the British against the Ottomans in World War I. The Ottoman scholars, they declared a defensive jihad against the British who were invading. They were going to destroy the Ottomans, massacred them. It was going to be a genocide. They called for a global jihad of Muslims to come and defend the Ottoman Khilafah. What did the Wahhabis do? They took the fatwa of their Mufti Ibn Sahman, one of their major scholars, Ibn Sahman, which you cited, who said that, no, the Ottomans are actually murtaddin. The Turks are murtaddin. He mass takfir the Ottomans. We actually have to support the British. And anyone who supports the Ottomans is a kafir. We support the British because the British are Ahlul Kitab. Now, this betrayal, okay, and this treaty, the Treaty of Darin in 1915, the British gave Abdulaziz ibn Saud what? They gave him 20,000 pounds. They gave him a salary of 5,000 pounds per month, and they gave him a lot of weapons. And those weapons, what did the Wahhabis use with these weapons? They went and they attacked their neighbors. And they specifically targeted the Rashidi Emirates, the Emirates of Rashid in the north of the Arabian Peninsula. And why did they attack them? Because they were pro-Ottoman. They attacked them from the south. So from Najd, they attacked the north, the Rashidi Emirates, because they were pro-Ottoman. And this was a disaster for the Ottomans. Why? Because the British were going from Egypt, okay? They're going from Egypt through Gaza to attack Quds, to attack Jerusalem. And the Ottomans were counting on the allied Arab tribes, in particular the Rashidis, to come from the eastern side and to basically flank the British offensive into Palestine. And what happened was, because the Rashidis were busy with the Wahhabis on the south, because the British had armed the Wahhabis to specifically attack them, they were preoccupied. They couldn't flank the British coming from Egypt. And this contributed to the British being able to take over Quds, take over Palestine, and through the Balfour Declaration of 1917, give the land of the Palestinians to the Zionist Jews. So the Saudi Wahhabi ideology contributed directly to the creation of the state of Israel. And this is the history that a lot of Muslims don't know, but this was a big part. I'm not saying this was the only factor, okay, that led to the creation of Israel, but this was a major factor, was the Wahhabi betrayal of the Ottomans and collaborating with the British. And it's all documented. These British officials are saying that Abdulaziz ibn Saud is so compliant. He loves us. He thinks that we're people of the book. He says that he'll marry his daughters to us because we're Ahlul Kitab, but he won't marry his daughters to the Ottomans because the Ottomans are mushriks. Literally, this is in their books, the British books that have been documented about this betrayal. This is coming from the founder of what eventually became Saudi Arabia, Abdulaziz ibn Saud. And it was all on the basis of the Wahhabi ideology. So this has to be something that we stamp out. And we've been put in a position, alhamdulillah, with social media. We can speak out. We know these facts. We know better. Yeah. So this is not a waste of our time, akhi. This is not something that's beneath us, that we have higher pursuits. This is something that has shaped the Middle East and the Muslim world today. As we speak, it's shaping our lives. It's shaping our future.
Yeah, and akhi, like, I'm not gonna lie. So this is a good point, and I'll be honest. some of them were saying to me, so the more educated ones, I had conversation with a couple of them, they won't deny any of this, by the way. Yeah, they may say with this last thing that you said that, well, we don't have anything from the Nejd. They didn't actually write any of this down. The chroniclers didn't write anything down. This is more from British sources, and they say, well, in ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu, they use this kind of hujjah, right? But the fair-minded ones will be honest about the takfir and about what they done with the Ottomans, etc., right? But one thing they say as a rebuttal is, oh well, look at what the muwahhids. It's not just that you had like extremist Ash'aris, for example, muwahhidun, in the Moroccan sort of empire, Ibn Tumart. You had Ismailis. You had extremists. Even now, they say that Tolverism contributes to the genocide, which I think is not true. I think whatever Iran decided to do in teaming up with Bashar al-Assad is not because of 12 Shiism, it's because of state interests. I think it's nonsense analysis anyway. But the fact is this, that's usually the response. And my response to that response is that you don't really have these groups operating on an international level and changing the world. When I grew up and I saw what's happening in Syria, bro, my own friends in my own school were slaughtered in a foreign country because they were duped by propaganda that had its roots in this ideology, bro. So I'm sorry, but in that regard, there's no other equivalent of things that I need to speak about. There's no muwahhidun today, that are trying to destroy nations. There are no Ismailis that are doing killing people like the assassins used to do. So it's mostly this strand which then permeates into a form of Najdim and Takfirism, which is one of the problems of the Ummah because it's one of the main ways in which disunity happens. Takfir is one of the main ways in which disunity happens. And it actually starts with this idea. And if you listen to the Takfiris, they make a compelling argument using this material. They actually make a compelling argument. They say, look, this is what they did with the Ottomans. Imagine, they make the same argument as I'm making, bro. And that's what I told them. If these guys were here alive today, transport them. Would they not be making takfir of modern states? The answer is yes, they would be. So the fact is, if you know that, then what are you meant to do? Takfiri says to them, the thing that you're meant to do is you're meant to kill these innocents. They're not even innocents. They consider them to be part of the problem. And then you're meant to go here and you're meant to go there and you're meant to do this and you're meant to do that. Okay, so then it actually has an impact. And look at Syria, bro. Yes, we talk about Bashar al-Assad. Bashar al-Assad, he was a butcher. He killed hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah, he's a very bad man. Yes, Iran it involved itself in that, and they did it for state interest. But you also had the Takfiri groups that were CIA groups. But then you had those individuals, as we saw now, the Epstein files. But these individuals that were called in from, from Morocco and from Algeria and from the West and from Pakistan and from Egypt and from Libya, all these kind of sort of countries, they came in and they filled in the gaps, and then they caused death and destruction for a whole nation like Syria. And now Syria, look at it now, look at the people. Wallahi, I feel so sorry for the people there, and what they had to go through is as bad as what the Palestinians had to go through. It's as bad, honestly. And they're the same as the Palestinians for me. They're the same irq, the same, they look the same, they're the same people, they're Levantian, Shami individuals. There's no fadl over them, over the Palestinians, or the Palestinians over them. Their cause is one for me. I have no differentiation. And I don't forget what happened in Syria. And I haven't forgotten it just because of what's going on in Palestine now. And we will call that out all the time. And we have, and if someone looks at my record or goes on AI and say Muhammad Hijab stance on Syria, and like how consistent has he been, there's not going to be a question about how that happens. One of the things that people criticize you for, Daniel, and I'll let you answer this because I don't know whether to agree or disagree with this one yet, is that they say that you basically that you soften your tone with Iran, but then when it comes to all these other groups and all these other nations, you're very harsh. So they're accusing you of what you're accusing them of, but in reverse. How would you respond to that?
Who am I soft with? Which country am I soft with? The countries that are allied with Israel? Iran, the countries that are... So no, I'm harsh. I'm
Yeah.
harsh on some of these countries because they're allied with Israel and the United States. Like it's very simple to understand. Has nothing to do with Shiism.
You're being accused of being Shiite, you know, or
it makes no
like
sense.
That.
Like you can't even say it with a straight face because it's so ridiculous. Like, look,
No,
Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is a Shiite country. Azerbaijan is Shiite. They're allied with Israel. You think I'm soft on Azerbaijan? Country that is soft on or is allied with Israel? No way. The issue is that the same reason that I support the Palestinians, and we talked about this, and I talked about it with Rajit as well, Adnan Rajit. I said that, look, if you have a problem with my position, okay, if you have a problem with my position with with Iran, then you should also have a problem with the Palestinians, because the Palestinians themselves, their leaders, are calling for pan-Islamic unity. They want unity of the Muslims because they recognize that this is the only way to stop the genocide and to save Palestine and Syria and the Muslims is a unity that goes beyond sect. So if you have a problem with my position, that's where my position is from, actually. That's what inspired my position, is to hear what the Palestinians themselves said. And I said to Adnan, I challenged him, do you think that the Palestinians are fools? And he said, yes, I think that the Palestinians are fools. He said this. And it went viral, like this kind of statement.
I mean, that's, no, I mean, no, if I don't see that, but if he did say that, that's, I mean, that's a preposterous thing. But
he said it and he doubled down on it. Like this is the kind of person that we're dealing with. These are the objections that they bring. It's complete hypocrisy. Someone is saying, oh, you're soft on Iran. Meanwhile, he can't condemn the UAE for this collaboration on the Abraham Accords, for the backing of the RSF and the Sudanese genocide, for the building of Hindu temples. So you are discredited. You are completely discredited. You're a hypocrite. You're going online. He's going online and saying we need alliance with the Hindus. We need unity.
What I don't understand is, what I don't understand is this, Daniel, is if someone believes, I'm not necessarily speaking about Adnan, although it may apply to what he thinks, right? Yeah. If someone believes that Ibn Abdul Wahhab and his followers made takfir of the Ottomans, and that takfir was somehow justified, okay, Ibn Abdul Wahhab, you won't find him talking about the Ottomans in that. I don't know. I don't think you'll find like a mass takfir from him of the Ottomans. I've tried to find that. I don't find it, but definitely certainly his followers, right, and those who ally with them, etc. You bring them and you ask them, okay, we have a Muslim nation over here, and the political elites, they've got a temple over here, and it's a Hindu temple, and they're going inside doing gestures of a shirky nature, like putting their hands together and stuff. What's the status of this? Now, if you speak to a modern day Salafist and they say, well, we think that they would make Hijab Jahil or anything like that, they're either Jahil themselves. I don't see other two ways. Wallahi, either you're Jahil, you don't know what you're talking about, or you're lying to yourself, and you're trying to whitewash it. You think we're dumb. You think we're everyone's dumb. Everyone's stupid. Yeah. Everyone doesn't understand that if you so istighatha, which you've had people make arguments for and against in Islamic history, Asyuti, Subki, you mentioned, and the Hijab Haqiqatjou was made by Ibn Taymiyyah and everyone. That one, we killed the people, according to you. But that one over there, which is actually Hindu temple, this one over here, no. This one is what do you call it? No chance, man. So this is why I've always said, and I put this quite bluntly, and I believe in this, bro. Either they are lying to themselves that this da'wah, this Najdi da'wah, would not make takfir, or they believe they should make takfir, and the reason between them and the takfiri group is this distance. And I'm not saying that applies to any of the brothers, because I know they don't like the takfiri groups and they're very anti-extremism and they hate them. I'm saying that generally this could be the only two things. The third thing is that they disagree with the Najdi Dawah in those areas, but they don't want to admit it for some reason. Maybe it's because of a national history, maybe because it's politically incorrect in their country, maybe it's because they'll be denied access to certain countries. Whatever it may be, that's the third possibility. But all I'm trying to say,
that's man. They're hiding the truth for the sake of. So this is a major sin. You know, this is hiding the truth for whatever reason, like if you're a daya and you're a political preacher,
if they hid the truth, I'll be honest, if they hid the, like if someone hides the truth, but someone else is speaking the truth, it's fardu kifaya. Like for me, I don't mind that. But the issue lies with what you said before, is if you're gonna start condemning this nation over here on theological grounds, which is Iran, condemn based on theology, on Najdi Dawah principles. Tayyib, let's bring the Najdi Dawah principles and let's apply it across the board. What would they be saying? And that's what my issue is. That's why I called it the Najdi fork. It's a dilemma for them. Because why is it a dilemma? Either you condemn everybody or you don't speak about the issue at all.
No, look at the inconsistency, bro. Look at this inconsistency. So there are multiple clips of this guy, okay, coin collector. He's saying that we need Muslim-Hindu unity, okay? Muslim-Hindu unity. Listen to this. And then when you press him on it, that how can we have Muslim-Hindu unity, but we can't have Sunni-Shia unity? He says that no. When it comes to the Shia, they kill Sunnis. Therefore, we cannot unify with them. So you see the shift. He shifts from a theological issue to a political issue. Oh, Shia have killed Sunnis. But haven't Hindus been killing Muslims? Like, where have you been living? Where have you been? Haven't Hindus?
I have to agree. With that. That's BS, bro. That's the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's what he says.
It's ridiculous, bro.
This is his statement.
So pathetic. No, I have to say this is unbelievable, bro. There's no other way of putting it. So wait a minute. On the one hand, you can have unity with Hindus on a cause, but on the other hand, you can't have unity with Iran. If that's what you're telling me, brother, I'm sorry. What Salafism is this?
Yeah, this is exactly. He wants to say that Adnan Rajit.
Oh no. Unbelievable, astaghfirullah. No. Now I have to. Now that you said his name, I have to check if he said this.
Yeah, let's have brother Zishan, bring it up.
No way, bro.
Yeah, look at the response. We'll go through it.
No, can you put it on your screen? Because now we have to double check. Now that you've mentioned his name, he didn't mention him.
Bring it up on my screen.
Let me bring it up.
Let me bring it up. This is going to shock you. Okay.
I think maybe because sometimes you're very uncharitable.
We're gonna look at this and we're gonna analyze it very.
No, but he's very uncharitable sometimes. So you have to be honest.
Give me just 1 second. But I don't know if you'll be able to see it. You want me to read it?
You start making excuses already.
You want me to send it to you?
Yes, please. Yeah, send the link. Yeah.
I'll send it to you and I'll display it there.
I thought you said that.
Wait, can I share my screen on the StreamYard?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it? What is it, bro? No, Akhi, this is no, Akhi, you can't show this. Akhi, this is haram, bro.
I'm just looking for the tweet. I'm gonna show you exactly here. This is in the thread. Look. Okay. Can you see this?
That's haram, Akhi. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Okay. Let me just.
I can't hear. I can only see, but I can't hear a thing.
Let me just get it online.
I don't think he's gonna say that, Akhi, man. No way, man. He's probably talking about some historical thing, bro. Come on, Daniel, Akhi, sometimes.
Wait. Well, let's wait. Let's wait. Okay, but don't speak too soon.
Fine. He looks like he's explaining history, bro.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's there.
You
Look.
could have the ears of the leadership of different Indian Muslim communities, whether it be ulama, whether it be political leaders. If you had their ears for 5 minutes, what advice would you give them?
I would tell them immediately unite. Unite without delay, and
He's talking about the Muslims, just the Muslims.
do not
right?
stop your movement, and unite with the non-Muslims, because there are many non-Muslims in India who are very moral, ethical. They're very upright in their politics, and they are the ones who are defending the Muslims now. The British divided Muslims and Hindus on communal lines to be able to govern India. Okay, they couldn't afford the Hindus and Muslims uniting against the British rule, and when they did, lo and behold, we had independence. Okay, even in the Indian Mutiny 1857,
it was Hindus and Muslims.
Hindus and Muslims fought against the British to gain independence. So the British, more than anyone else, understood that Hindus and Muslims have to be divided. They have to divide for them to be able to govern India for longer, because there were Hindus in the armies. This was not a purely Muslim establishment. The Delhi Sultanate had Hindu generals fighting side. The same with the Mughals. The Mughals had Hindu Rajput and Jat at times, generals fighting side by side with the Mughals against the enemies. Aurangzeb did not have a policy to force Islam upon anyone. He did impose jizya, okay, which in my opinion was not pragmatic for him to do that. Okay, that caused problems.
You hear that?
He didn't want to convert.
Implementing the jizya is not pragmatic. Okay, so this is what kind of statement is that for the Wahhabis? Okay, what kind of statements is that?
I think Adnan's more refined. He's a very refined individual. He's not gonna, you know what I mean? He's pragmatic.
Convert the Hindus to Islam,
but he did have an. But he
actually funded temples. If you Google Aurangzeb funding temples, you'll go to a website where you will see Persian documents, original documents, where he funded the repair or the restoration of temples. And he did not, I mean, when people say he was out to demolish temples, again, this is another lie, a misrepresentation of history.
Okay, so I mean, you saw that, right? And there's more to the story.
So where I agree is that, you know, he probably means unity in a non-obviously theological sense. He means the sort of unity that you'd have, like I was talking about in the beginning of the stream, like if you have a Christian neighbor and you're both doing some work together, for charity, this is the sort of thing he's talking about, definitely.
Yeah, so then why is that not applicable to the Shia?
Well, definitely it should be. No, I mean, that's why I disagree with them. That's why I disagree. I think it should be absolutely applicable to Shia. That's the point.
Yeah, that's the point. That he's completely incoherent and inconsistent. No, but he doubles down. Like, so let's watch the rest of it because he has a response. There's more. Okay, so then he
I don't disagree with what he's saying. You can unite on a good cause, and
unless it's Shia, unless it's Iran, you can unite with. Okay, so his logic originally was what? We can't unite with the Shia for a theological reason because they have this view of the Sahaba and he accuses them of committing shirk. Therefore, they're a different religion. Therefore, we cannot unite with them. That's his reasoning, right? But then but Hindus apparently are closer to Islam than the Shia somehow. Like Hindus don't have a different religion. How does this make any sense? Okay, and let's not belittle the fact that he says that the jizya is not practical. Okay, applying the jizya. This is a shocking statement of kufr, actually. If you interpret it a certain way, that this is a kind of kufr statement.
Go that far. I think it's not kufr. No, it's not.
He's defending the building of Hindu temples, and he disagrees with the jizya.
I don't think he ever defended the Hindus temples. No way.
Okay, I mean, people have heard the clip, so they can interpret it. So this is what he said. This is his response. He doubles down. Okay, he doubles down. He says, enjoy. I advocate for a strategic alliance with any entity that does not kill Muslims. Okay, just like the Prophet ﷺ did with Banu Qurayza. In this clip, I'm talking about pro-Muslim secular Hindus, not BJP, anti-Muslim gangs. Rafidah have committed genocides against Muslims. Okay, and then in this clip, he talks about it.
So in that case, then on that basis, maybe he doesn't mean Yemen then. So if, like, for example, Yemen also Shia, well, not all of them, but there's, I mean, the ruling party now there is, and there's a good number. And so then on that analysis, what genocide? I mean, do you know what I mean? You could, I don't know, like, there's lots of Shia in the world that have not done anything.
No, but how is he he's mass takfiring the Shia? He says that no alliance with Rafidah is allowed. Did all the Rafidah do massacres against Sunnis?
Not all of them, of course, not every single one of them.
Okay,
no,
so what is he talking about? And even with governments, if you want to boycott governments that commit genocides against Muslims, then you should boycott the UAE. You should boycott Saudi. You should boycott Jordan. You should boycott all of these countries that have participated with the United States against Muslims in Iraq, against Muslims in Yemen, against Muslims in Sudan.
Yes,
but he's not consistent on that. He's not consistent. He's blatantly. So my position is consistent. My position is that yes, you have these governments who have committed atrocities, and they should be held accountable for those atrocities. But it's not just Iran. Why are you limiting it just to Iran?
No, you're absolutely
why are you not looking at these other countries? These,
absolutely.
Quote unquote, like the governments are not Sunni. They're not Ahlul Sunnah.
No, but I don't know if I saw it from you or somebody else, but there was a point that one of you made on Twitter, which is, I don't know if you were mentioning Saddam Hussein or something, or whatever it was. And you said that, you know, he's, let's say for the sake of argument, when America was attacking Iraq, I don't know if it was you that wrote this, but no one was saying, okay, we're going to side against Iraq and with America just because Saddam Hussein was a butcher and he killed his people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No one
so
said that.
You're absolutely right. I think that at the end of the day, bro, it's about consistency, and I don't agree with this approach, and I think it's everyone can see, bro. Every lay person, the whole Muslim world knows the answer to the questions that we're asking, and they all agree with us. By the way, 95% of the Muslim world agrees with what me and you are talking about right now, and they know what we're saying. And we're free men. We don't need to, like, as I said, we're not beholden to any state interests. We're free men. We're free Sunnis. We don't need to care about that, all of that. But I do think that to end this, stream, we should talk about unity now, because we spoke about some of the problems, some of the inconsistencies, and I agree. But what I want to see, Daniel, and I want to be part of this, and I want you to be part of this. I want to see a great unity happen between the du'at in the English-speaking world. Great unity, collegiality, respect, love, concession. I feel like that's the way forward. And look, now you have a, dare I say, you have a mainstream. You have a very mainstream approach, pragmatic approach to dealing with unity, right? There's no question about that. You're talking about doing it with the 12ers or whatever in context, and I agree that you can do it with anybody, and I agree with Adnan as well. By the way, they can even do it with Hindus if they don't kill us, and it's a good cause like charity or something, whatever maybe. I agree with all that. However, as Muslims, we need to have a special kind of unity. And I think us in the Dawah space, we can start creating unity by granting concession to one another, allowing a lot to slide. Yes, if people are too extreme, we have to refute that. If they're just disunity merchants, and because I was saying in the beginning of the stream, if they continue, they're gonna kill us off, bro. The last 100 years, how many Muslim countries have been destroyed? Iraq's been destroyed. Libya's been destroyed. Syria's been destroyed. Palestine's been destroyed. Sudan has been destroyed. But there's so many Muslim countries, but the Uyghurs, the Rohingya, there's too many of us that are suffering, bro. Somalia, there's so many people that have suffered around the Muslim world. You know what I mean? And so many other Muslim countries I haven't mentioned. Afghanistan, obviously, a huge example of that. Even Pakistan. Lots of countries suffering, bro. Lots of hard times. Okay, Lebanon. Look at Lebanon. We were raising money for Lebanon. Bro, I've just counted 10 countries. How many millions of people died? And the reason why millions of people are dying is, one of the main reasons is because we're disunited. As much as we don't want to say it, it's the truth. So imagine now if we remain on this, the next 100 years is going to be even more death and more destruction or more humiliation. So that's all well known. So what we're calling to is not uniformity. Kashmir is another one, by the way, but that I didn't mention. It's a very important one. But yani, there's lots of them. But obviously Bosnia, Chechnya, there's lots of countries that I've not mentioned. Kosovo, bro, Albania. Yani, I can't think of everything now. I apologize if I haven't mentioned any of the countries like Sudan or Congo. Many of those countries, right? Or Muslims. But what I'm saying is, like, what I'm trying to say is, if we continue on this trajectory of disunity, more of us are going to die. We're not going to have the luxury to speak about these things. The Greater Israel Project is going to increase more and more. We're going to get hurt. This is going to cause death. This is a health and safety issue, bro. This is a security issue. This is a survival issue, bro. And these guys, they don't realize this. And I'm trying to say to them, that's why we need. Algeria is another one, bro. This is another one. I forgot. Yeah, but and obviously that was a bit before. But what I'm saying is, there's so many of them, akhi. I can't even. We're gonna keep getting hurt. We'll keep getting hurt, akhi. So unity starts with what we can control. What we can control, like me and you, Daniel. I think what I'd love to see, like on a real practical level. And do you know who else has been oppressed, bro? The Kurds, bro. That's the Kurdish people. The good Kurdish people, bro. They've been harmed. Look what happened to them. So I keep mentioning so many people, but I forget some other people. Anyway.
Iran,
bro. Of course you're gonna say that. No, I'm checking. Okay, bro, the Kurdish people. Well, I've got many Kurdish people in my family now. My sister's married a Kurd. My niece is married a Kurd. And I love these people. I think they're very honorable individuals. They're fantastic humans. We've got Tariq Kurd as well in the Sapiens, bro. They're great people, man.
Yeah,
anyway,
he's a good brother. Shout out to brother Tariq.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, I remember him from my trip in the UK. He's really generous brother, mashallah.
Oh, bro, he's the best. I mentioned Libya. Someone mentioned Libya. I said Libya before, but I say it again, Libya. What happened there was very diabolical. I've mentioned many countries. I have probably left out many countries. Now I apologize if I've missed out the countries. Kashmir I've mentioned already, yeah. But I'll mention again Kashmir. Yeah, so as I said, if we don't unite, I'm not saying uniformity. I'm not saying we all have to have the same beliefs. I'm saying unity. There is a difference between unity and uniformity. Unity is where we all have the same aqeedah and the same fiqh. I'm saying uniformity is that, uniformity is when we have everything is the same. I'm saying unity in the sense that we can agree to disagree on certain issues, right? However, also another thing I didn't mention is Nigeria. They went through a lot of difficulty as well. Anyway, it's
Somalia. Did you mention Somalia?
I mentioned Somalia, but I mentioned again Somalia.
Northern
Northern Somalia, Hargeisa, all of these areas. I know there's been specific issues in the north as well, and there's specific issues in the south as well, and specific issues everywhere. Ethiopia, bro. There's lots of Muslims there. Obviously there was a civil war, in Ethiopia. Unbelievable. That wasn't religious. That was a tribal thing. Did we mention Yemen? Yemen, bro. Come on. How could we not mention Yemen? Subhanallah. I mentioned Rohingya. I went and saw the people in Rohingya myself. But anyway, I'm saying if we don't do this, also Eritrea, bro. Bro, it's incredible how many countries with a huge Muslim population have been disturbed, and we're still talking about this stuff, We're going to get destroyed. We're going to get annihilated, man. I'm telling you, we have to start. And that's why what I think we need to do, Mali, bro. I forgot to Mali. Anyway, and look what the French did. no, North Korea. But, bro, even the non-Muslim countries, but that would defeat the object of what I'm trying to say. So what I'm saying is that, what we want to do is want to create unity, yeah? I want to create unity. I want to create unity between everyone. So what I want to do is I want to bring Daniel Haqiqatjou. I want to bring Omar Suleiman. I want to bring Adnan Rashid. Bro,
do it.
I want to bring all of these guys together, and I want them all to hug each other. And I want to bring
as well,
bro, to get this. We know there's a bigger call. Imagine if we do that. We get this one, that one, even Shamsi, bro. I saw him the other day. Shamsi, do you know when I see Shamsi, the madkhalis, I see him, bro, it's like we're brothers, bro. In the street, I see him. Oh, how you doing? It's like nothing's happening. Why? Because I think there's something we've got. Like, I don't care. It's whatever. So the point is, let's create unity, not uniformity. We're not saying let's bring the aqidas and mix them. No one is saying mix aqidas, brother. We're not saying mix aqidah. I'm saying let's agree to lay our arms down and focus on issues that mean that Muslims are not going to get destroyed for the next 100 years and they're not going to get killed for the next 100 years. And that's why I say we should start with the dawah scene.
I mean, when someone bring someone like Adnan, like, I'm not going to hug someone who calls the Palestinian fools as they're going through a genocide. I don't want to hug someone like that. Like, that's a despicable person who's carrying water for like Hindus and Zionists. Like, this is disgusting.
Fine. Maybe not.
So he apologizes for that. He apologizes for his pro-Hindu comments, and then I'll put differences aside. But other than that, like, this is disgusting behavior.
If he said that, he probably said it. Maybe it's been misinterpreted, but I'm sure he'd be happy to say, I apologize for that if he said that. But what I'm saying is, we'll bring everyone together. You know what I mean? We got Amr Salman, he's such a good guy, such a nice guy. What about him, bro? Let's be honest. I expected him to be like, because he's a famous guy and head of institutions. So he was a humble guy, man. I'm not gonna lie. I liked him. And when I speak to him on WhatsApp, I'm not gonna lie. I have a soft spot for him now. He told.
Do you know how easy it is to honey trap you, bro?
I'm telling you, but do you know
how easy it is to honey trap you, bro? Well, anyone who flatters you, you're gonna say he's a nice guy. Like, come on, bro. If it's Muslim, don't be so easy.
If it's Muslim, you'll see the least resistance in me if someone's nice to me, bro.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad because some people can use that to manipulate you. They can manipulate you, and they can. But I'm telling you, it's not what they do in private. It's what they do in public. Are they willing to stick their necks out, especially when you're under attack, when you're being called the N-word, or when these disgusting Zionists are attacking you?
I'm not gonna lie.
Are they gonna stick their neck out for you, bro? Are they gonna say that? Oh, I stand with my friend. Yeah, over WhatsApp, anyone can blow smoke up your rear end and say, oh, wonderful things. And, oh, you're so amazing. You're so brave. Your muscles, mashallah, look at those burly and the muscles. Anyone can sweet talk you, bro, on WhatsApp. Don't be so easily manipulatable, bro. This is easy. You don't want to be a victim of a honey trap, because they do that, right? You know that the Zionists, they send their agents. So nice. I don't know what you like, but Bosnian, maybe.
Are you talking about women? No, trust me, Akhi, the honey trap thing will never work on me or the women. There's no way, bro. Akhi, they've already tried that. But I go to different countries. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound really racist. Should I say this? Should I say this? Akhi, let me say this, bro. So one time, listen, one time I did this thing. I done this thing where I was like, took my shirt off outside the Chinese embassy. Yeah. Are you with me? And then all of a sudden I get this person. I don't know how they got my number even. But it's noticeably like Chinese woman, bro. And she started telling me this and that and blah, blah, whatever. And this and that. Let's talk. Bro, there's no way. I could be so, what do you call it? In the akhafullah, bro. There's nothing there. There was no honey trap. Didn't even get temptation. I saw the picture. I saw the body, very small, this and that. I said, "There's nothing there, bro. I'm sorry. What are you talking about? You sent the wrong. You profiled me in the wrong way. You sent the wrong person. You sent the wrong one, akhi. You send me a Chinese. Bloody. If you send me something else." Akhi, that's, I'm sorry to say, Adi.
Don't give them tips, bro. Don't give them tips. Throw them off the trail. Throw them off the trail to protect yourself.
When I went to, this is going to sound even worse, bro. But when I went to Japan, my wife had no concerns. She said, she was like, I know this guy's going to have taqwa. This guy, I was walking around. I had no problem, akhi. I had absolutely, because it's just like, anyway, the point is, the honey trap thing is no chance, bro. No chance.
Well, you just admitted that there is a chance. It just can't be from a certain race.
But it won't work, actually, because those ones there. If a woman comes to me like that in that manner, I know that she's a trap. That's 100%, million. Like, it's so obvious. It's such a telegraph punch that I'd be crazy. You think I'm answering my Instagram messages and speaking to people and stuff like that? You think I'm at the level where I'm doing that? Akhi, there's these women here that send me. You can get. I literally, if I go on my Instagram now, I might have like 100,000 women saying things to me, and with no response, bro. Maybe not 100,000, but maybe like 1,000 or something. I don't know. Whatever. It could be like 1,000. Akhi, no way, bro. I'm not gonna answer that. It's so obvious. It's a telegraph punch. Okay,
it's so obvious. Then why are you falling for it when it's a man doing it?
Say again?
If it's so telegraphed, why are you falling for it when it's a man doing it?
Oh yeah, it's a man doing it. No, with men, bro. If a man speaks to me nicely and is a Muslim, I find it hard to be rude to them, bro. Even if people are nice to me, I find it so hard to be rude.
I mean, this is their trick, bro. This is their trick. This is a strategy that's used to just butter you up. They do it with me too. You think I've been buttered up by none other than Rabbi Ferris. Rabbi Ferris himself has tried to butter me up, telling me nice things, and through WhatsApp as well. Yeah, this is something that's well known, bro. They butter you up and they want you to play ball. Oh, okay, we can agree to disagree, but privately with adab and akhlaq, and they just want.
What I don't understand is why none of them have given me a real offer that I can't refuse. That's what this guy's here. Why you give me an offer I can't refuse? Why all this sweet talk? Give me some money, brother. I'm bankrupt. Come on now. I can talk about any country you like. The great state of, and then fill in the blanks. No problem. No one's giving me a decent proposition. If me and Daniel get the right pay, maybe we'll be on a different trajectory altogether. I'm sure that if a certain check sent to our house, especially Daniel, bro, he's already received a check from the great state of Iran. He hasn't hooked me up yet. Khamenei is giving him this. Khamenei is giving him the paycheck. He hasn't given me the paycheck yet. Where's this?
Inshallah. Inshallah, you'll get.
I don't want no money for that.
We got a 300 billion MOU signed, so by Trump himself. You saw that he signed it in Versailles. He signed this MOU with Iran in Versailles. So
unbelievable. But Akhi, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Inshallah, we'll do it again, and we'll create a bigger unity between the Muslims. Not uniformity, but unity. But that means that we have to eliminate all excesses. Excesses in. Bro, some of the grave practices are too much, as we discussed as well, bro. Some of them
are doing them. Who's doing them?
Bro, people are doing them all over the Muslim world. Some people are. I told you, I spoke to a guy. He said that I believe the Prophet he's actually hearing me, and he's actually going to give me a baby himself. Intrinsic practice. This is a concern. The Salafis have a point here. Neo Salafis have a point on this. They do, bro, but they go obviously too far. Some of them go way too far. Yeah, I mean,
what percentage of the Muslims are even praying? What percentage of the Muslims even know anything about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? What percentage of the Muslims even know anything about the Quran? Like, we're talking about a fraction of a fraction of a fraction who might have extreme Sufi practices. So
that's right.
On the other side, look at Twitter. Like, even if Twitter is a representation of like the Muslim,
I think honestly, I think it's more in the villages and stuff.
Yeah,
because
the villages,
you know why?
Okay. So
yeah, maybe it's, I don't know
who is actually active on. Do you know how many people? Let's compare the number of Wahhabis on Twitter who have takfired you on the one hand, and the number of Wahhabis who or the number of Sufis who believe that the Prophet ﷺ has intrinsic power. Like, which one is more? The ones who have takfired you by name and have made your blood halal is way more than the extreme Sufis.
That's no question. Yeah. But maybe they're just on villages. They're not online. Maybe they're just like, a lot of these ones.
When those villages get online, inshallah, we'll be able to. But until then, like, you go to villages, mashallah, but it's hard to go to villages.
But I think it is a village thing, They've got some mad stuff going on in villages, bro.
I mean, we're talking about the Wahhabi dawah that is being funded or has been funded with hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, this is a bigger threat. It's something that needs to be addressed. Yeah, I agree with you ultimately.
All of it needs, like, we're trying to create central, like, mainstream Sunnism. Bring people from where we can disagree with, like, certain fiqh and certain things we do other for each other. The ones on the fringes, we need to get rid of them because they don't want unity and they can't have it. Therefore, the ones who are extreme, that's it. Yeah.
Like, look at the Ibadis. Look at Oman. The Ibadis, their
nice people,
Aqidah is from the Khawarij. You know that, right?
Yeah, but they're so nice, bro. They're some of the most honorable people you meet.
Yeah, so imagine a future where the Wahhabis become like the Ibadis, or they're like Oman. They are fine with being unified and working with other Muslims, but their aqidah is a specific aqidah. No problem. You know, if you want to have this aqidah, be like the Ibadis, be like the Zaydis, whatever. That's fine for you. Like, we don't have to agree and unify on those specific aqidah.
Well, that's a great way of putting it, actually.
So I would be happy if Wahhabis were like that. But unfortunately, the Wahhabis are a tool. Like, they're a biomass that is a bioweapon against the rest of the ummah. And they've been weaponized by the Zionists, by the Americans, and they're causing chaos. And that's why we have to refute them, and we have to discredit this entire ideology. And so I agree 100% with you on the need for unity. Obviously, that's been my message, pan-Islamic unity.
Yes,
and it's a matter of survival, bro. This is not like a joke. This is a matter of survival. Absolutely. You listed all of the countries that are suffering because of some of these issues. So I'm 100% on board with you on that. And, you know, I'm very happy to see that you're coming out now. Alhamdulillah, you're making these strong statements. You're equating some of this Wahhabi ideology with terrorism. There's no doubt about that. There's no one who's disagreeing about that, whether it's academics or even the great scholars like Ibn Abidin or As-Sanani or whoever. So we just continue that, inshallah. We continue that, and we put out material. We produce material, because there's so much. Like that fatwa from Ibn Sahman, like, I didn't know about that fatwa. Like, that's not like, that's a primary source that is hidden in the archives of like one of these Saudi universities that someone found, and that we published it, because it was unpublished manuscript of Ibn Sahman's fatwa calling the Ottomans Murtaddin, and we have to ally with the British in World War I. This is a lot of research that needs to be done, because it's been propagandized. A lot of the Wahhabi propaganda that has whitewashed the history of Saudi Arabia and Ibn Saud and the first Najdi movement and the second Saudi movement. We have to do some knowledge production, because a lot of damage has been done on the basis of this ideology, and you can greatly contribute to that, inshallah. I know, did you finish your PhD yet on the contingency argument? I've seen some videos that you put out.
I did. I finished it, but I want to redo a couple of chapters before I completely submit it. Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, do that, inshallah. And then, you know, I don't know what your next intellectual project is going to be, but I think there's a lot of potential research in this area specifically, because, bro, this has formed the modern world as we know it, the Muslim world as we know it, is what happened at the end of the 19th century, early 20th century, prior to, you know, during the World War I period, the founding of Israel, the founding of Saudi Arabia. This has shaped our world today, and many of the problems that we have is because of historical things that happened at that moment and philosophies that developed at that moment. I think you would be great in terms of your understanding of, you know, the Kalam debates and Aqidah, to delve into these discussions and these theological debates that had a political influence on the course of history. This could be a very big, important project for you.
Well, send me any ideas you may have. What I want to do next, after I've done like God's existence and oneness of God, I want to go into like Revelation. I want to go into like some of the mu'jizat of the Prophet, and because basically my whole life, what I'm trying to do, intellectually contribute to proving Islam is true. So that starts with God's existence, the oneness of God, then Revelation, the Quran. How do we prove that's true? And then the prophets. Why are they the truthful ones? So the next part of my life is going to be, so this, after I'm done with all of this, and I'm very happy with like what I've produced, because I feel like I need to revise a lot of the stuff in the thesis. Once I'm really like happy with everything I've written and I've submitted it and I feel it's perfect, then I'll move on to the Revelation, and going into like there's, I don't know if you've heard of Fadl Samarai and the Mu'jizat, and I like that stuff. I want to go into more like the miracles of the Quran, the word choices of the Quran, stuff like that. That's, for me, that's the interesting thing. And obviously I'll continue doing debates with different people from different religions and stuff like that as well. But that's going to be my contribution. But as I'm going along with everything, people have to bear with me, because there's going to be things that a lot of people are not going to agree with. The more I research, the more I'm going to offend people, because I'm going to come to realize things that I was told that are common notions in certain circles, which are not true or are academically untrue, as we've discussed today. And that's it. It bursts a lot of people's bubbles, but that's the fact of it, and that's the pain of it as well. And to be honest, bro, I didn't get anything out of this. Like, going after the Dawah Najdiyah, I got nothing out of it. I got absolutely nothing. I've known you for. Actually lost followers from Saudi Arabia on Twitter. I you know what I mean? Like, I saw it on they were coming. I was getting attacked, racially abused, and I had a good following. By the way, I've got a good Arabic following. Like, a lot of people, follow me in the Arab world, especially in Saudi and Egypt and different countries in Morocco. These are my top 3 Arabic demographics. And so actually Saudi Arabia was number 1 more than Egypt. Now it's neck and neck. I mean, it's still there. I mean, what I'm trying to say is I got nothing out of it. Honestly, I just tried to speak to people what I've researched, whatever. And, I love everyone who's a Muslim, and I want unity for everybody who's a Muslim, and I want goodness for everybody who's a Muslim. And Akhi, there's a beautiful hadith which I'll end with, which is that whoever seeks forgiveness for the al-mu'minina wal-mu'minat, for the believers and the Muslim male believers and the female believers, then Allah will write for them a reward for all the forgiveness that they've done. So we seek forgiveness for our own shortcomings towards our brothers and our sisters. And genuinely, I might have said things to offend people today. I don't know. I've tried not to. I would love unity with all the brothers. I love all the brothers. I respect all the brothers. Hijab Haqiqatjou, I respect him immensely. Adnan Rashid, I know him personally. He's an excellent guy. I like him. I've seen so many good qualities of his. He's sincere to the dawah. Ali Dawah, he's my brother. I love the brother. Zishan Ali, everybody, from my inner circle to my outer circle. Amr Sulaiman, Mufti Menk, I like them all, bro. I've met them all. I like them. Orthodox Muslim, Farid Bahraini, he's brilliant when it comes to hadith, bro. Akhi, people can disagree and say he's not an extremist, he's not any of this stuff. Akhi, I tell you, he's a great man, and he's done a refutation of Shadi Hikmat, bro. If that was put into a peer-reviewed paper, it would be an outstanding one. Akhi, I've never, and this was before GPT, he was going into the footnotes and catching out a guy, a Yale University professor, bro. Brilliant attention to detail. It's a great guy. Jake, wallahi, with all my disappointment of what he's been doing, he's a talent that needs to be appreciated when it comes to the Trinity. Yes, and inshallah he'll come to his senses and come back to the mainstream, because he'll be an incredible asset when he does come. And Hamza Zoltzis, bro, I don't think I've met a man more integrous in terms of the dawah. I tell you, Hamza Zoltzis is number 1, bro. If I have to say this, Hamza Zoltzis, there's no man I've met in the entire dawah that is more honorable than Mr. Hamza Zoltzis. Wallahi, I tell you, he's a brave man.
So yeah,
he's a passionate man, and he loves the unity of the. And I tell you, I've seen him so much. Like, he's always protected everyone. He's put everyone before himself. He is, for me, one of the people I respect the most in my entire life.
Yeah, okay. So let me give you an alternative perspective on this.
No, Akhi, let's leave it on a good note.
No. Let me give you an alternative perspective on this love fest. You want to talk about the compassionate imams like Omar Sulaiman, Mufti Menk, constantly filling up. Like, literally, their classes are on the basis of depicting Muslim women as queens that have to be served. Okay. And I pointed out, like, their advertisements for their classes. Like, if you go on Facebook or social media, Instagram, like, you are a queen, you're amazing, you have so much potential, just gassing up the Muslim women. So you might have a lot of love because they send you.
Well,
let me finish. So they might be saying nice things to you on WhatsApp, but in public, this is what they're promoting. And then that is what's causing the average Muslim woman to go on TikTok, and follow some of these hijabis, quote unquote hijabis, with the nose job and the makeup, talking about hadith is fake and we don't trust male scholars. Like, that whole phenomenon of female TikTok influencers who are now questioning hadith, who are slamming, like, they're promoting LGBT, they're promoting feminism. Where do you think that they came from? They are the students of the Mufti Menks and the Omar Suleimans. They're the students, and they're doing untold amounts of damage.
He's bloody.
These are the rotten fruits, right?
By millions of people, hundreds of millions.
But these are the rotten fruits, or the marriage. Okay, the marriage. When people come and attack, and they say, "Oh, you are getting married to a second wife, but did you get permission from your first wife?" This is a disgrace, and they come and attack you, and they are coming. They're learning this.
I saw Mufti Menk. What do you call it, on Instagram? He was asked about this, bro. He was staunch when it comes to polygamy, bro. I was very impressed with him, bro. Did you see that?
I'm talking about an entire network of classes and seminars and courses, and this is what they are putting out. Look, I'm looking into this. I'm studying this because I'm reaching Rand. Okay, and so it's a very clear.
Well. I forgot to mention Sabah. He was a great guy as well. Of course, of course I forget.
So the point is, they're doing serious damage to the ummah. Okay, people are getting divorces on the rise. Look at the divorce rates in the Muslim community. It's shocking levels of divorce, unfortunately, and it's caused by this wave of feminism that has been ushered in by the compassionate imams. When it comes to the Wahhabis, okay, someone like Farid, someone like Adnan Rajit, or whoever, like they are spreading takfir. They're spreading takfir specifically to cause infighting for a political purpose. This is causing damage to the Palestinian cause. This is doing damage to the future of the Middle East because of the Greater Israel Project. We have Israel that's now knocking down the doors. They're going to annex Gaza. They're going to annex the West Bank. They're going to annex southern Lebanon. They're going to annex southern Syria. They're annexing southern Syria. This is going to be a disaster, and the people who are promoting it, that's nice that you have a nice conception, like friendly relationship with them, bro. But they are contributing to the destruction of the ummah, like in a very tangible way. So I don't have a soft spot for that. Even if they're nice to me personally, and they say, "Oh, Daniel, we love you. Your hair is so nice." Whatever, like, you're still contributing to something that is a disaster. It's deviant. It's contrary to the principles of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah. You're a charlatan. You're a fraud for presenting yourself as a da'iyah. This is a humiliation of our principles. So we have to be calling that out in no uncertain terms.
And I think you've done a lot of that. And I think a lot of it has been very successful. And you've filled in a fard ayn, or you could say a fard in your country, actually, kifaya in your country, that people there's no mainstream da'iyah that was talking about feminism. But then, having said that, you know, I feel like there is a strategic benefit in the likes of Mufti Menk and Amr Sulaiman having a majority female audience, which I think they do have. Yeah,
that's a disaster. What's the benefit of that?
What's the benefit of that? Where the woman going to listen to? What they're going to listen to?
Anything other than that,
they ain't listening to me and you, bro. They need a guy they need a person that's like, do you know what I mean? Like
Zishan. Why aren't they listening to Zishan? There you go. Smile to Jannah.
70 to 80% male audiences. I don't know what your one's. Probably 100% male audience. What is it? Tell me what your male audience is.
I haven't checked it recently, but the last time I checked, it was like 75%.
What, really?
Yeah. No, there are a lot. Look at the comments. There are a lot of good Muslimat that love anti-feminist talk. Yeah.
Fair enough. That's not bad, actually. I think 25% of them are females.
Yeah.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah, no, bro, this is the worst disaster. I'd rather these, because for example, these Muslimat were listening to, I don't know, some soap opera. That would be better than listening to Omar Sulaiman and Mufti Menk and these compassionate imams. Why? Because the compassionate imams.
No, it would. That is not right.
It would be better for them to watch Netflix. It would be better for them to watch Netflix than to watch this goy swap. Really, bro? Why? Let me explain. Because when they watch this goy swap,
have you heard his Sahabi series, bro? I watched some of those videos with my son. He liked it. I liked it, bro.
There are many places that you can get stories of the Sahaba. You can listen to many. But the point is that they're taking feminists. Great at
storytelling,
yeah, storytelling. The storytellers have always been famous in Islamic history. If you look at Islamic history, the storytellers were always famous. And actually, the ulama were worried about the danger of this, and they criticized the storytellers, because what the storytellers do is they attract the big audience by just giving stories that appeal to the masses. And that's the danger of taking a storyteller as an imam, taking a storyteller and mistaking the storyteller for a sheikh or a daya. This is extremely dangerous, because then you take the feminism and the liberalism and the positive psychology slop and you elevate it as, okay, this is religious, this is Islamic instruction.
No,
this is
honest, okay, when I was watching that Khalid and Walid series of Amr Sulaiman, I didn't hear anything like that, bro.
Bro, I think we're starting to find out the source of your misguidance.
No. Honestly, it's a fantastic. He's got great storytelling capabilities. You know, he's a really nice guy. I think you guys can be friends, honestly, and I think it'll be better for the Muslims.
You know, I was working for him. You know that.
Create
right?
an alliance.
You know that I was working with him. You know that I was part of his organization. You think I don't know Omar Sulaiman? I was in his office, bro. My desk was like right across from his desk. Yeah, my desk was right across.
This is the reason, then. This is the reason. You're a disgruntled ex-employee, aren't you? What was it? That's it. I knew it was something. Go on, tell me more about that. So, who left? Was it you or them? Or him?
Yeah, no, I can tell you all about it, because they recruited me to teach or to lead research at Yaqeen. At Yaqeen Institute when they're founded in 2016. And I wanted to, because I was living in California, they said, no, you have to move to Dallas. Omar Sulaiman personally, okay? So Omar Sulaiman DM'd me and said that we have an offer for you. Can we speak on the phone? So I spoke to him on the phone, and he told me, like, we're starting this new institute, Yaqeen Institute. They weren't sure if they wanted to call it Yaqeen. They were thinking about calling it like the Muhammad Ali Institute, because that was around the time that Muhammad Ali, the boxer, had passed away. So they said, yeah, we're starting this institute, and we want you to be the lead researcher, okay? Because we know that there are all these doubts that are called shubuhat by secularism and liberalism and feminism, and we want you to address it, okay? So we want you to come and be our head of research for Yaqeen Institute, and you'll have a team. We'll give you like a lecturer position at the local university. Wow. Like all these.
So they took care of you, bro.
Well, it was all words. Okay, listen, like wait till the story. Okay,
okay.
So I was in the corporate world at that time. I was doing dawah on the side, but you know, he offered me this position. I said, like, look, I don't know. I'm in California, and my family is
you got
here.
Friends?
Huh?
Well, you got like good friends and stuff.
No, not at the time. I didn't know them. He just contacted me.
Yeah.
So then he offered me this position, and I said, look, I'm worried. I'm concerned that, because you know, I have this certain views. I'm very vocal about certain views I have on feminism, etc. And I feel there's going to be backlash. And when there's backlash, I'm afraid that you're going to throw me under the bus. Like, you're not going to have my back, basically. And he said, no, don't worry. We have lawyers, and any kind of right-wing Islamophobe that attacks, we have a solution for that. I said, no. I'm not worried about the right-wing Islamophobes. Okay. I'm worried about the left-wing, the liberal Muslims. They're the ones that are going to attack you, because that's your primary audience. And they're not going to tolerate, basically, me being associated with you. He said, well, and this was his response on the phone. I remember it very clearly, because it should have been a huge red flag. But he said that, well, you know, we're not necessarily going to support everything that you say, but we're not going to throw you under the bus either. Okay. So that should have been a red flag. I should have been like, okay, this guy is not fully on board. Like, he doesn't fully have my back. He's not fully with the program that I have, which is anti-feminism, anti-liberalism. In my mind, I thought, okay, well, I just need to talk to him privately. Like, when he is here, like doing a event with Linda Sarsour, or he's associating with these leftist groups, like, he doesn't understand the danger of feminism and LGBT and liberalism. When I go to Dallas, I'll be able to influence him positively and influence the organization positively, especially since I have this position as a lead researcher, the head of research for Yaqeen Institute. So I make the move. I move my entire family. At that time, I had 3 kids. We moved to Dallas, okay, from LA. And I start working there. I have an office there, at same room as Omar Sulaiman, okay? And the organization gets launched. It gets advertised. It's billed as a think tank. to address shubuhat, to address these kinds of doubts in Islam. And the first paper that I contributed to was they had interviewed about 34 imams and shuyukh and other community activists, and they had asked them what are the main doubts in Islam that is affecting the Muslim community.
Yeah, I actually saw that paper. It's a good paper.
Yeah, what was interesting, what people didn't know is that they actually they had hired out a third party to do that research, like the interviewing and to collect all the data. And that third party was extremely left-wing. They were Muslims, but they were left-wing.
The research was Yusuf something, right?
ISPU is ISPU, Institute of Social Policy and Understanding.
Sure.
So they actually, among the 34 imams, one of the imams that they interviewed was a guy named Abdullah Daya or something like that. The first openly gay imam. That was one of their data points. I'm like, why did you interview a gay imam for this study? Like, who cares about this imam? He's gay and disgusting. And you're interviewing him, and they said, well, this is what they required. This is what the third party that we hired, they said, we're going to do this project for you, but we have to interview the gay imam. That didn't match, like that didn't make sense to me. Like, you're hiring them, you're paying this third party to do the research.
But by the way, do you know that, but just to pause on that, because one of the conclusions of that study, if I remember correctly, was that one of the main reasons why Muslims have doubts is sectarianism, which is what we've been talking about today.
That wasn't one of the main reasons that was highlighted in
if you go in the study now, we can look at it together, because maybe we're talking about two different. Are you talking about the doubts one?
It was like one of the first things that they published in 2016.
The one I'm talking about, they published one about doubts, about why
it has
Muslims
like it has an infographic, like a bubble chart.
Yeah, from what I remember, one of the things that they said was that sectarianism between Muslims.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was one of the things, but the other things
morality
were like
was the big one. They mentioned like moral questions, basically. But that was what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, evolution was another one. Evolutionary theory, different aspects of the seerah, slavery was another one. The age of Aisha radiallahu anha, like those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point was that the point of yaqeen was to address these doubts systematically, one by one. Anyway, so I'm with yaqeen, and they start isolating me at the organization. They start like, because what I was doing at the time, there were these feminist groups that were posting their material. Like, one of them was Heart Women and Girls. Heart Women and Girls were
Indonesia.
The which one?
It's not. That's not the one in Indonesia. Sorry.
No, it's America. It's American.
Okay, yeah.
And they were promoting like LGBT and feminism, and they're getting invited to Masajid to give like sex education seminars in Masajid. And I was saying that this is like a Trojan horse. Like, they're coming on a health-related topic. Oh, we're going to talk about health and sex education. In reality, this is an activist group. And they explicitly say this, that we are going to get our feet in the masajid so that we can spread our leftist ideology, pro-LGBT feminism, etc. Like, these women that they either wore no hijab or like a scarf, and they were going to preach in the masajid. And the doors were being opened for them by the likes of like Muhammad Majid, if you know, he's one of the imams of one of the biggest masjid networks in the United States, and Omar Sulaiman as well. Like, so I was criticizing this group, and I get a call from Omar Sulaiman saying basically that, you know, is it really necessary for you to critique them? I'll set up a call. Like, you can talk to the director of this organization and you can resolve your differences. So he had this kind of approach that might be similar to yours, actually. Like, let's have a private conversation and settle this. And I said, well, okay, well, let's see what she says. Let's see. So it was like a three-way call between me, Omar Sulaiman, and this head of this feminist organization, Heart Women and Girls. His name was Summer Kokab. And as you can imagine, it immediately gets hostile because she's getting extremely angry. I'm questioning her, like, do you think that homosexuality is acceptable in Islam? Like, do you think transgenderism is acceptable in Islam? So it's getting really hostile, and Omar Sulaiman is just quiet on the other end, not saying anything. And so it just blew up. Anyway, so things like this. keep happening. And then there was another incident that was really stuck in my mind is I had Omar Suleiman and some of the Yaqeen directors, board of directors, at my house in Dallas. It was supposed to be like a nice dinner party or whatever. And he's sitting there on the couch, literally like 5 feet, 6 feet away from me. And then he's on his phone. And then Omar Suleiman.
Oh.
And then his face just drops. Like his face, like he becomes like dark in a way. Like his mood just changes. And he just slumps. And he looks at me and he says, "Did you really tweet at Linda? Did you really tweet at Linda?" This is what he says. I said, so what had happened, Linda Sarsour, I had tweeted at her because she was interviewed. And this is like December, I think. This is December or end of November in 2016. Yes. Donald Trump had won the election, surprised everyone. Omar Suleiman and the entire Compassionate Imam Network were having emergency seminars that we're about to be thrown into concentration camps by Donald Trump. Okay, this level of fear-mongering. And then Linda Sarsour was planning a march, like a women's march for the inauguration in Washington. And she was allying with these LGBT groups. And she was being interviewed by the Washington Post, I believe, or the New York Times, one of those major national outlets. And the interviewer asked Linda Sarsour, like, you have pro-life groups that are anti-abortion. They're Christian pro-life. And they want to march with you because they're also opposed to Donald Trump. Will you accept them? And in the interview, Linda Sarsour is reported to have said, no, I will not. I don't ally with those who reject reproductive rights, basically. And I tweeted just like one sentence, basically, one or two sentences that how can you, and it was not rude. It was just, how can you as a Muslim have this position that's like a pro-abortion position? That was the tweet.
Wait. So she said, I won't ally with Yaqeen, but basically because of you.
No, let me finish. That wasn't in the picture. Like, this was just a message that she had sent, okay? Or presumably. She messaged Omar Suleiman that, look, Daniel is criticizing me publicly.
Oh,
He's
I see.
criticizing me publicly.
Oh, I see.
And then Omar Suleiman is like, is disturbed by this. Like, Daniel is criticizing my friend. And then this became an issue. Like, this became an issue that as long as Daniel is with Yaqeen Institute, we're not going to collaborate with Yaqeen Institute. These liberals, these feminists, like the worst kind of pro-LGBT feminists, we're not going to ally with Yaqeen Institute. We're not going to work with Omar Suleiman as long as Daniel is there. This was exactly what I had gotten the guarantee from Omar Suleiman.
Yeah, so that's how I get it. Now I understand your frustration with it, bro, man.
Yeah, so then, I mean, what happened was that they made some excuse. So then, like, they brought me to the office and they said, look, we have to put you on probation. We have to put you on probation. This was in December. I was like, for what? They're like, you're just saying things that are you're too hostile. You're being too hostile. And I said, look, before I joined Yaqeen, I said that what I do outside of Yaqeen is my business, and you have no right to tell me what I can or can't say. And these are things that I have said before. Like, it's not like I suddenly changed. Like, you brought me on and I suddenly changed. Anyway, they put me on probation for 90 days. So whatever. And then after 90 days, and then actually in that conversation, okay, they said another thing that was very notable. Omar Suleiman said this. I said that, look, I'm just criticizing these groups in the same way that I was doing before. Nothing has changed. And another thing that they had a big problem with was I was criticizing Khizr Khan. Do you remember Khizr Khan? He was the South Asian American whose son had been killed in Iraq. So the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton, was bringing them on like, oh, the model American family. He's a Muslim and American, and his son died in Iraq. And he was being promoted by the Democratic Party. And I was saying that how can we promote this family whose only claim to fame is that their son was in Iraq killing Muslims? Like, we're celebrating that as a Muslim community. And Omar Suleiman and the Compassionate Imams are like promoting this.
Yeah.
So I was criticizing not Omar Sulaiman, but I was criticizing this promotion of Khizr Khan. That was a big problem. So then I pointed this out to Omar Sulaiman, and in that conversation, he said that, that was before Daniel. That was before. There's a circle, okay? There's a circle, and before you were outside the circle, criticizing those who are inside the circle. But now we brought you inside the circle, and insiders do not criticize each other. This was what he said. And I was just shocked by that. So like, and from his perspective, like he's saying like, you play along to get along. Even though if you know something is wrong, you keep silent. And this is not Islam. Islam is not keeping silent for the sake of your relationships, professionally or otherwise. This is not Islam. This is this disgrace, especially if something is being promoted that is damaging the ummah, that is distorting Islam. How can we stay silent? Anyway, 90 days pass. Another meeting they have, again, with Omar Sulaiman and the board. I say that, look, I came to Yaqeen with the understanding that these shubuhat need to be addressed. When are we going to have a paper? Because the organization has been around now since it was launched in October, of 2016, September or October. When are we going to address feminism? When are we going to address LGBT? When are we going to address these issues? This was the response. They said that, look, we will have the plan to address these issues, but Donald Trump won the election. Donald Trump won the election, and now is politically not right or not convenient for us to address these issues. Now it's not politically viable for us to talk about these issues. And I was shocked by that. I said, well, you're doing this on the basis of politics and what is politically correct and incorrect and the Democratic Party and whatever. But what if, like, tomorrow the Democratic Party says, like, starts opposing Sharia as a whole and starts denouncing the Sharia as a whole? Are you then not going to talk about the Sharia for the sake of political correctness? Are you going to then reduce the scope of what you discuss on that basis? And then this is what one of these board members said. His name is Ashraf. He said, yes, we will do that. Yes, we will. For the sake of what? For the sake of preserving the organization. That is what he said. Okay, and I swear that is what he said. I swear by Allah that is what he said. This is their ideology. And then I looked at Omar Sulaiman. I said that, look, you're going to have this position, because they said the whole purpose of the meeting was that, Daniel, we have to take off you from our organization. We'll give you some role, like some marketing role, but you can't be on our website. You can't be known. Said, look, I moved my entire family from California, to Dallas, and you insisted on this. Okay, you insisted on this, and now I knew at that point why, because they wanted to influence me. Okay, they wanted me to get on board with their program, and Omar Sulaiman explicitly said this. I said that, didn't you know that I'm against feminism? I'm against all these things, and you promised me that you wouldn't throw me under the bus when the pushback from the liberals came. You said that you wouldn't necessarily endorse everything that I said, but you wouldn't throw me under the bus. And do you know what his response to me was? We thought you would change. We thought you would change. So their whole mindset was, we're going to bring Daniel to Yaqeen. We're going to basically wine and dine him. We're going to influence him. We're going to give him this position. We're going to give him this kind of visibility, and he's going to get the picture. Like, he's going to get it that you don't talk about certain things. You're not going to push certain ideas. You're just going to get on the bandwagon. And they didn't realize that I was basically kind of like an autistic person and I wasn't getting the message, because I was gung-ho 100% on these issues consistently: feminism, liberalism, LGBT.
Have you ever been diagnosed with autism?
No, I haven't.
But I thought that was meant as a statement of fact. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, so so they said, we'll give you this position. I said, that's okay. Yeah, I don't need your dinky position. And I said, I'm out.
Okay, so here's my commentary on that. So I think that it all depends on what the nature of the agreement before you started working with them, right? So if in the contract that you had with them, they had some right to the last say of what you have on your social media, and obviously there's some level of discussion that they were within their right to do whatever they want.
There was no such clause. There was no such agreement.
If there was no
verbally.
Such clause,
verbally the opposite, like verbally it was opposite.
If there was no such
my
clause,
naivete was that I took them at face value. Like I thought, okay, they're a good Muslim organization, they're not going to stab me under the back. And a lot of Muslims that talked to me, they said, like, you should have had a severance clause. Like if they don't retain you and they don't continue to pay you for a certain amount of time, like 2 years, then like they should be penalized for that. Like that should be explicit.
If that's the case, bro, if that's actually true, and obviously we haven't heard their side of it, but I mean, what I do know,
like I have challenged them to let's bring mediators, let's bring impartial mediators.
So what would you want to see to resolve this thing?
No, like I there's no result that I want. Like they go and I don't
know
how
much are we talking? How much would we? How much is this for your troubles, bro?
Yeah, if I was gonna be paid off, I would have gotten paid off like back in 2016 when I was in Dallas in their office. I invited them, like, and the still open invitation. By the way, let's have a mediation panel, and I'll present my case. You present your case. It'll be very transparent and open, and let's see what the mediators like. Let's have some scholarly mediators to determine like who's in the right or wrong. Because privately, they go and they sabotage my appearances. They go and push for me to be canceled from events. When I came to the UK in 2023, they were calling people, okay, like some of these individuals that you know, and they're saying you can't have Daniel come to the country and you can't platform him. They had a big problem. Remember we did that.
So is your main thing because of feminism then? Is that the reason why they had a problem with you? Feminism and liberalism?
Yeah, feminism and liberalism. Those are the main issues.
Okay, so do you know what? I have to say then, I mean, because what does check out is the fact that that institute, for the fact that it's trying to, it's got a lot of funding. Okay, Sapiens Institute, where we've got like 7 or 8 full-time employees.
It's outrageous the kind of funding they have. It's completely outrageous, and some of it, who knows where it's coming from. Their budget, like all of it, is transparently available because they have to file as a nonprofit. They have to file.
How much they have?
They will pull in a revenue of 10 million per year.
Unbelievable.
10 million. They have so much money that they have an independent, like their operating costs aren't even on the basis of donations. They've taken the millions and they've created like a trust, and on the base that trust is generating their operating costs. So the salaries,
good, whatever they're doing, we need to start doing whatever they're doing, bro.
Just sell out. Like start promoting feminism. It's very easy. Go work for the Democratic Party. Huh?
Who to get it? You think you're telling me who to get the money from?
I think that they have wealthy donors. They have wealthy donors internationally. Okay. That's a fact. But it's not just that. They get a lot of wealthy donors because it's an attractive message. They are preaching Islam that's compatible with the dominant political ideology of liberalism and left-wing liberalism with literally the Democratic Party. I'm telling you, on the national convention, they're speaking
this stuff now.
It's a big problem because the TikTok feminists that you see, they're downstream. They're downstream from these big players that are operating on the level of national politics.
No, you're absolutely right. Actually, when it comes to liberalism, you can't have an institute that's in the tens of millions of pounds. That's how much you're getting, bro. Sapiens, we're surviving on scraps. Like we've got 7 or 8 different people. Hamza Zortzis is the one who's in charge of all the finances. Literally, we're nowhere near anything close to what you've just described in terms of the figures. And
anyone can go to the IRS page and go nonprofit search. Okay, just Google
I don't doubt you. I mean, if you
need to see it to believe it because it also has the salaries. Okay, mentioned. This is all public record. And you can see what people are actually making in terms of money and salary, how much money they're getting. Go search with the IRS site, and it's all there. The record is available.
You can show it on your website, on your site, because Zishan just went.
Okay, here, I'll pull it up.
I mean, to be fair, bro, like my criticism of Yaqeen in that case would be that they can't do this because they know that in America, liberalism and feminism is causing apostasy. Their own study showed that, bro. Their own study showed that it's the moral issues that cause apostasy in their country of Muslims and doubts. So if that's what's causing apostasy and doubts, then surely I do agree with you, bro. I have to say that on this point, I have to, although I can't verify everything you said because it's, they have whether to defend themselves, but it checks out with the public record that they've never, ever refuted Western feminism in their entire history, which makes no sense because it's one of the biggest fitan in the country and one of the biggest reasons why shubuhat are there for Muslim women. And now it's getting worse and worse, akhi. And yes, I do believe that some of it is strategic, but there's levels of where strategic behavior becomes detrimental, bro. And I agree that, there needs to be more done on this. And if they treated you in that way, and that is an if, because obviously they're not here to defend themselves. But if they did treat you in that way and they dealt with you, if they didn't have any clause of, as I mentioned, then that's what they did was wrong, bro. And I can understand it's not just wrong. I can understand that the bad frustration and anger that you must have for this organization and for the people.
No, it's not personal. Look, it's not personal. I didn't start publicly criticizing them until 2019 because I saw that they were getting worse and worse. They're like starting to promote gay marriage, on their site. And I started criticizing them on that basis, not because of a personal grievance. I mean, they want to present it as that. They want to say that I'm a disgruntled ex-employee, that I have some personal beef. But, it's not personal. It's just look at the content that they have been putting out and the overall, they've gotten better. Like, I want to be fair to Yaqeen.
Yeah, you have to be fair.
I want to be fair to them because if you make a statement like they've never said anything against feminism, that's not true. They have spoken against some of the aspects of feminism. I don't think that they've gone nearly far enough, and I still think that they smuggle.
But have they got dedicated papers on feminism, like they do with other things?
I can't recall a paper dedicated to feminism.
I promise you, bro.
But I know that they've said stuff.
Put them on AI. Like no. All of these American guys, every single one of them, except for you, put their name and put feminism on AI generator. Every single big player. Noman Ali Khan, Amr Suleiman, Yasser Qadi, put their name, put feminism on an AI, ask AI, have these people ever criticized Western feminism? The answer is no, they haven't, bro. They have not. And the reason why is because they've got female followers who are inclined to that and they're trying to appease that. And that's a fact. And I can't deny that. And in this case, they have to change that because this is the enemy. Western feminism is what's causing people, women now, to apostate. Is becoming, because you've allowed the crack on the windscreen to develop, it's actually now causing apostasy and TikTok generation and this and that, and our daughters are going to be in trouble because you couldn't take a firm stance. And that's genuinely, bro, that's why I agree wholeheartedly with your approach. Like, if you didn't do what you did, then there would be nobody in America that had filled this gap. And I think that this is something they all need to change. And I'm 100% sure they're all listening to this. All of them have never mentioned feminism before and criticized it. None of them. And if they did, it was a sporadic comment here or there. You can go on AI now and say, look at
the issue.
Ask Grok, has this person ever criticized feminism formally? No. But how can you be in the Dawah space for this? This is the main, do you know what it's like? Bro, it's like living in communist Russia and not refuting communism as a Muslim. Do you know what I mean? It's like living in I don't know, the Safavid, or let's say you're living in Iran as a Sunni and you've never refuted Shiaism, and it's everywhere. Wallah, the fact that if you're telling me,
and the shocking thing is
you're getting tens of millions of pounds to essentially stop people's doubts. Tens of millions of dollars, bro. We've got 8 employees. They're getting scraps. We got some employees living in the office, bro. I have to tell you the truth. Yeah, they live in office, akhi. One of them was sleeping inside the office, bro. I have to say the truth. So at the end of the day, we're living on we're living on scraps. People think we're making big money, and then this organization here has got 10 million coming in every year. And then, bro, come on, just bring one guy. If you can't do it yourself, bring some woman. You got lots of women that are. Bring some woman to just like tear feminism apart, bro. Tear it apart.
Bro, remember when we were in that podcast together on the Muslim Father Support Forum? We did that podcast, and you have brothers who. Yeah. The brother who was with us is telling there are so many divorce cases, shocking, where these women are taking the children from their fathers in the divorce cases for custody battle. Like this is such a rampant problem. They're being empowered by feminism.
One of the worst problems, bro.
Yeah, it's like destroying Muslim families, but you won't actually find any statement about this from these compassionate imams.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with that, bro. It's off-putting. I don't agree with this at all, Akhi. None of these guys, for some reason, because they want to maintain family audience or whatever, you got to take a stance, Akhi. This is the fitna of our day. Liberalism, feminism, these are the fitnas of our day. These are the heads of the snake. You cannot be saying that you're dealing with shubuhat. That's your remit, dealing with shubuhat, attacking, deconstructing the false ideologies, reconstructing Islamic beliefs. And you're not dealing with the biggest ideological threats to Muslims that you acknowledge, because you produced a doubt survey that showed that it's all moral based, and the morality that underpins all of these doubts is feminism and liberalism, and you're getting millions of pounds. Akhi, I'm sorry, but you're absolutely right on this point. And
look at this. Look at the form. Like I've shared it.
I haven't seen this. Akhi, I'll go back to the point. It's like, imagine living in Soviet Union, and you're a Muslim, and you've got like people spouting communist, Marxist beliefs and infiltrating Muslims with those beliefs, and you don't have a refutation of Marxism. It's not even illegal. You've got constitution in America. You've got the best freedom of rights. Well, you can easily come out and say that, man.
Look, when it comes to the biggest spenders, when it comes to Muslim charity organizations, Muslim dawah organizations, who are the biggest spenders, do you think? It's middle-aged Muslim women. Middle-aged Muslim women, they have a lot of money from their husbands, or they have a lot of money from divorce, and they've taken like a lot of wealth, and they're middle-aged. And they give money to these organizations. So if you have an organization or a speaker that's going to call you a queen, that's going to say, yeah, your husband was a dirtbag. Yeah, he didn't treat you correctly. Like, oh, you're amazing. Like just giving you all this sense of entitlement, then you're going to be more likely to spend money on that organization and write a check. And a lot of that 10 million per year that they're raking in, coming from these women. It's coming from women who are just happy with that kind of.
Honestly, do you know what they should do? The Yaqeen Institute should actually give us a couple millions, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, you know what? Now that you said that, no, do you know what? Yaqeen Institute, if they're getting tens of millions, bro, and they can't speak about feminism, they should fund us. We won't say anything. We'll stay quiet. Since we're doing it, give us the money. We need a couple millions here. Me and you. Send it to Daniel. Yeah, he'll keep his mouth shut. He won't do any more reputations. Okay, we can have a non-disclosure agreement. It's done, bro. Send them money, man. If you got 10 millions, you got a lot of money. You put this man through a lot of hell. Yeah, okay. You might have put them through a lot of hell as well. You might have been so difficult. And let's be honest, you've been a bit harsh on Amos Suleiman too much as well. Let's be honest. Some of the reputations are too much. Okay. So there's been
bro. What was too much? What Imam Sandwich is too much?
I can't remember that one, but but I'm saying this. Okay, you have
Imam Sandwich. You don't know Imam Sandwich, bro? This is his nickname, Imam Sandwich.
I don't know anything about Imam Sandwich. Okay. What's that mean?
Because he has so many pictures, more than any other Imam that I know or have known, where he is sandwiched between two women posing for a picture.
He's a bad man. That's right. That's how it should be. Now we're talking. I'm gonna say, man, brother, not joking. I'm joking.
So yeah, that's why I call it Imam sandwich. I mean, people like even that itself, like just promoting like that level of ikhtilat, like that level of mixing of the genders.
I can't lie, bro. I'm very lenient with that stuff too.
I haven't seen many pictures. I haven't seen many pictures of you, bro. I haven't seen many pictures of you sandwiched there between two women.
Whoa, you haven't seen anything yet? No, I'm only kidding. No, honestly, I'll be honest. I think there's a resolution, but you know, if you make a couple 10 millions, I think Yaqeen Institute should send, you know, some millions here, or a couple 100,000, or maybe 500,000, just 500,000 to the Sapiens Institute, maybe to Muslim Skeptic, this and that. That might be the thing to do for them. That if they can't speak about it, at least fund the people who can. This is a fair deal, I think. If not, then it's a problem, akhi. But if it's not anything below 500,000, otherwise, I don't think anyone's going to be interested in this. Otherwise, Daniel's going to continue. And listen, if we don't get the money, Daniel's continuing, bro. You got Imam Sandwich video coming next. Oh, we need the money, bro. Hey, Daniel, if the money doesn't come through yet, you got a couple videos coming out about Yaqeen. Yeah, and I'm gonna be in the videos with you. Yeah, this guy's making 10 million. Me and you gonna be in the video together. Forget about all this, akhi. Guys sleeping in the office in Sapiens, and these guys getting 10 million. How many people I want to get in every year? What's the salary up in here? Subhanallah, man. No. We can't accept this anymore, brother. This is ridiculous.
Bro, like, what do you think? Like, when you have an imam who's being platformed by Bernie Sanders, like one of the major presidential candidates in the United States, and he's like giving a speech at their campaign rally, and he's being invited to give like the opening prayer for like a memorial service in Congress, standing in front of like Barack Obama, George W. Bush, Biden. Like, do you think that opens up opportunities financially, like not only from Muslims in America, but also internationally? Because you can say that, look, this is an example of an imam who can recite Quran, mention the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he's giving the prayers in Congress. He's standing in front of presidents. He's on the presidential campaign giving speeches. Like, don't you think that kind of political access opens financial doors where you become very...
How comes I've never seen any of those financial doors myself? where have we been? What's been happening?
You have to sell out, bro. You have to sell out. That's the point. You have to.
We're not interested, man. Independence is the best thing you can have. To be honest, independence is the best thing you can have.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Islamic history. The imams who sold out to the ruling regime and they compromised on Islam, they're forgotten. Like they got what they wanted, right? They got the access, they got the praise, they got the notoriety in their time, but then they were forgotten. And then what awaits for them in the akhirah, only Allah knows. So we just worry about ourselves. But I mean, it's a clear pattern of behavior. And it goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, that this is theology in service of politics and ultimately money and power. They don't speak about certain things theologically, even though it's of theological relevance, namely the iman. Like if there's shubuhat on the basis of feminism or LGBT or liberalism, and you're not addressing it, then you're not addressing a theological issue for the sake of your pocket and for the sake of political access. And they were very explicit about that to me privately. But even if you don't believe me and what I say, look at the public record. Look at what they have said, what they haven't said, who are they associating with, what they're promoting. It's a very clear pattern. And I don't have any personal beef or problem with Omar Suleiman, even though his organization and his associates did go after me and blocked me from speaking in certain venues. They have attacked me behind closed doors because they want to have a squeaky clean image. They want to pretend like Daniel is just so aggressive, Daniel is so harsh, and we're just little angels sitting here innocently. When in reality, they're behind the scenes trying to cancel me, trying to get me closed off from different venues, not speaking to Muslims, trying to discredit me. So I'm just saying everything here with the understanding that I'm more than willing to sit in front of a panel of judges or mediators and bring all the receipts, bring all the evidence.
I will judge
make my claim.
I'll be the. Do you know a story, Ahi? Bro? Do you know this? No one knows the story, bro.
Yeah.
You know who I was a judge for one time? So someone called me as a judge. You will never believe who called me. You will never. The Madkhalis, bro. They called me as a judge. I'm not going to mention who it was. But no, listen to what I'm saying. No. What it was is this, yeah. Basically, this guy, he punched another guy. Yeah. One of the Madkhali guys, he punched the other guy. Yeah. He was like Shamsi's associate. Yeah. And then the other guy called the police. The police, the UK police. Yeah. So then I had the witnesses with me because I had my friends there. They were like the witnesses and stuff. Yeah. Oh, they weren't even my friends. They were just people that were there, but they were looking to me for guidance. And they said, "What should we do?" So the Madkhali saw it as a pragmatic win. They said, "Listen, let Muhammad Hijab be the judge, rather than go to the police. They don't want him to get arrested, innit?" So they got me in the middle. So I said, I hereby, I'm gonna tell you the judgment, yeah. And I said, my judgment is that he punches him back. Yeah, I said my judgment is he punches him back. And then the guy said, "I don't want to get punched back. It's fine. I forgive him, and I'm not going to tell the police." And then that's how it went. So there has been a time where that's happened. But the point is, yeah, I think that, you know what? Let's make unity happen now, because you're mainstream Sunni orientated. Umar Sulaiman, Yaqeen Institute and stuff, for all of their negatives, they're still Sunni Muslims, and whatever they've done to you and whatever they do in general is not worse than 12 Shia. It's going to always be like that. They don't believe in
12 Shia are not promoting their ideology in our masajid. So 12 Shia are not wearing the costumes of Sunni traditionalists and pushing this.
It don't matter. We can still unify. We can still unify for the common cause. But I understand that you may need your compensation. That might be the judge who, you know what I mean, who gets the judge to get this, may have to rule. If they're getting 10 millions, they maybe, come on, bro. I mean, they got to think about their reputation as well. They got to think about the squeaky clean image. They got to think about all that. Actually, to be honest, I think this can be dealt with by compensation. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that could be. Is
compensation going to erase all the pro-feminist slop that they?
No. Two things. Number one, compensation for your troubles, and number two, that they have to be vocal about feminism.
You know they never actually retracted the pro-gay marriage article. You know they never retracted that. The one that you talked about with Jonathan Brana on your stream.
Yes, but he wasn't saying that. He was saying that we can vote for that in order to. It was nonsense what he was saying, but nevertheless.
Yeah, but they never retracted that article. They archived it.
They removed it, right?
They removed it, but they said, "Oh, we just archived it because it's not relevant anymore." But they didn't retract it. They never said that, "Oh, we were wrong for pushing gay marriage." That's how brazen they are. They're so brazen and unapologetic. Yeah. And
but what we
there are some people who are associated with Yaqeen that I don't think are so bad. Like Imam Tom. You've seen Imam Tom, right? I think he's a nice guy. He's a very nice guy, and he's done some good work, mashallah.
Well, I think all of them
the problem is much deeper. The problem is the pushing of a Islam that is politicized by liberalism and left-wing politics. And this is a disaster. We're seeing the rotten fruits of that on TikTok today. But the rotten TikTok women that we see today, and some of these simps as well, they were trained 10 years ago by these compassionate imams. Really? They were trained. They're watching these YouTube videos from the likes of Omar Sayan, Yasser Qadi, and that's what made them think that feminism is actually the Sunnah. Feminism is actually the Quran. They've been emboldened by that message.
Well,
political message.
Yeah,
and now we're suffering. Yeah. Now we have to deal with this trash.
We have to deal with it. Yeah, we have to. No, they have to pull up their socks on this, man. I'm sorry to say, he's right.
They won't. They won't, because that endangers the 10 million per year, bro. That endangers the 10 million per year.
It's better to have a clean reputation than to endanger. Get a woman to do it. Get a woman to do it, man. Get a couple. They can get a woman to do it. They should. In fact, a woman should do it. It should be a woman that does it. comes
the
out
women are
strong.
In charge. The women are in charge of Yes Queen Simstitute. The women are in charge.
So if they're in charge, then they should be leading the charge as well. They should be leading the charge in that case. You get a couple of women.
No, they're feminists. They don't agree.
Yeah,
they think that me and you are just red pill Dawa bros. We're just red pill Dawa bro trash. Right. They think that we're Nazis, basically.
Yeah. This is where it's come from. It's come from the fact that you've got this other group of people here that are not speaking. They want to disassociate with us in a sense. So what they're doing is they are not tackling feminism, but that's going to come at a very heavy price because people are going to see.
Like, look at what Mufti Menk said. Mufti Menk
This is,
goes on his on a lecture and says that whatever my wife wants, I do. If she tells me to quack like a duck, I'll quack.
No chance, bro. He didn't say that, man.
He said that, bro. It went viral. This is a few years ago. This is a few years.
He wouldn't do that. I promise you, bro. This guy would know.
Bring up the clip, Zishan, bro. Bring up the clip. If my wife says quack like a duck, Mufti Menk, go ahead, play the clip.
No way, man.
Where have you been, bro? Where have you been?
Man, Mufti Menk, I saw him the other day. He was talking about polygamy, man.
Where's the clip? Show the clip, bro. Show the clip. Yeah.
Quack?
Yes. My wife tells me to quack like a duck, I'll quack. Or move like a chicken, I'll move like a chicken. Something like this.
No way, bro.
Yeah, and you accuse me of embellishing and lying and being kadhab. Let's play the clip. Every time you've challenged me, I've been proven right, bro. Oh, wow. Look who's the interviewer. That's...
I really wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind. If my wife were to phone me now and tell me, move to the left, I'd move to the left, even if there's no place. Out of love, that's it. So what? If that makes her happy, it makes her happy. People might say this guy is a chicken. I don't mind being called a chicken. I'll even quack for you a little bit, so long as she's happy. MashaAllah. Yeah, if that's what makes your marriage, let it be.
There you go.
Not that bad. It's not that bad, man.
It's not that bad? Okay, yeah. Look at all the feminists in the comments. Look at all the TikTok feminists in the comments going like, yeah, we love you, Mufti Menk. Yes. That's the standard that they take to their marriages, bro. This affects them either consciously or subconsciously. And they're destroying these marriages because they feel like their husbands don't meet the standard that Mufti Menk is saying is what is religiously required. Mufti Menk is saying that this is religiously required.
Put a video about Mufti Menk.
Make her happy. Make her happy.
Mufti Menk polygamy. I saw a video. Watch it. Let's put it. Yeah. He even talks about his divorce online. I don't know. Which one is the best one that shows what he's bro? Show Mufti Menk skydiving, bro. There's a video of Mufti Menk skydiving, Akhi. No, let me show you.
No, you know comments that he made about homosexuality,
look,
right?
That's Mufti Menk there, bro. Look. Subhanallah, bro. Put this on. Akhi, put this on. One sec. This is Mufti Menk, bro. Trust me, this ain't an easy thing to do. Look, watch it. Subhanallah, bro. Wallah, look at that. Akhi, look, he's jumping in the sky, man. Subhanallah, man. He's
what? Is that him?
That's it. It takes bravery to jump like that, subhanallah.
Oh,
it does. Do you think that's easy? You're going on top of a plane, jumping off a plane.
Yeah, in Dubai. Yeah, in Dubai. Yeah, so
it's scary anyway. Going, no, it don't matter.
What was the controversy about Mufti Menk? 2 years, he couldn't say one word against Israel. 2 years, he couldn't say one word against Israel. Is it not the case? Then he gets slammed. Even Dan Bilzerian came and shamed Mufti Menk. Look. Like Dan Bilzerian comes and shames Mufti Menk and ratios him. Why haven't you said a single thing against Israel?
Watch this one. Look.
It is not wrong to want to have nice things in this world.
Yes.
I want to have good clothing. I want to have a good car. I want to have a good house. I want to have good children. I want to have good spouse, and so on. And, be careful because some people here, someone told me, can you speak about polygamy? Can you speak about what?
What?
About what?
What?
Polygamy. I want to tell you, my brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters, say it. Go on. Say it. Go on. Put. No.
It is not wrong.
What? Oh. No, bring another one. Bring another one. I think he says something. Yes. Here we go. Watch it. Go.
Only sunnah that the men actually talk about, or a lot of them talk about, is don't pretend like you don't know, guys. Subhanallah. Second wife, it's a sunnah. Wow. Second is a sunnah. What sunnah? Start off with these things. It is. I'm not denying it, but I'm saying.
Great job, Zishan. Mashallah. You got it. Great clip.
Haven't even lived as a husband yet.
Thank you, Zishan. There you go. There you go.
You compassionate, man.
Gotcha there. Gotcha. There you go. There you go. What sunnah? What sunnah, bro? What sunnah? There you go. What more proof do you need, bro? What more proof?
He's a good guy, honestly, though.
Thousands of statements like this, bro. Thousands of statements from all of them. Even if now maybe some of them will say, yeah, we practice polygyny. Even if they will say that, we accept that. It's always caveated. They always give 1,000 disclaimers. They say, oh, but you have to have the permission of your first wife. You have to make sure that they're exactly equivalent in what you provide for them, even though we know that there is difference of opinion on what does that exactly mean. You know this. You know the fiqh. They insist that, oh, but if it's not allowed in your country, you should never do it. Like all these 1,000 disclaimers. They say, oh, but are you praying Fajr in the masjid? If you're not praying Fajr in the masjid, don't even think about getting a second wife. Like these are the simp disclaimers that they use to discount or to counter message polygyny. There you go. You know, Allah exposed the truth. Allah exposed the truth of this compassionate imam.
I mean,
this is what I'm saying, bro. Like you're not the thing about me and you, like I know exactly the issue, bro, because you are doing a PhD. You're in the books. You're reading these texts, right? You're doing deep research. You don't have time to watch Mufti Menk clips or to watch Omar Suleiman goy slop. You don't have time for that. So you just assume that what they're putting out is a traditional Orthodox Sunni Islam.
No,
but in reality,
Wallahi, I watch his what do you call it? His Ramadan series very good. Companion series very good. Another one. But they're very good, man. I can't lie.
You want to bring up his statements on polygyny? You want to bring up Omar Suleiman, what he says about polygyny? You bring
what
that
does
up.
it say, bro?
I'll send.
No way! Don't make me turn on him. then, tell me what he says. No, show me now. Sorry to say, what?
He's like talking to like a Christian woman.
I watched all these series. Not all of them, but some of them. The Ramadan ones. We used to watch it with our family when we were eating food. It's a perfect thing to watch when you're eating food.
Here's what I'll send it on the chat. Just play it on because it messes up my screen if I share my screen. So just you share it.
If we do a comment al-Hajj on them guys, it's done. It's finished.
Now we know. Now I know exactly the lever to use with hijab. I know exactly the lever to use. Did the link open?
No way, bro.
Yeah, I mean, they're just they never present Islam where Islam conflicts with feminism or liberalism in an unapologetic way. It's always apologetic with caveats, with disclaimers, and after a certain point, that becomes very destructive. It distorts the understanding of Islam by the common people and even non-Muslims. Because you have non-Muslims who convert into Islam thinking that Islam is like a liberal feminist religion. Then they read some ayat of the Quran, they read some hadith, and they're shocked, and then they leave Islam. So a lot of the people that actually come to Islam from the compassionate imams, it's a problem.
What's wrong with that? But what did he say that was wrong there?
What did he say that was wrong?
Yeah.
Let's count them. I mean, the thing about a lot of these imams, okay, is that they'll say something that if you just have a casual listening of it, it might sound fine. But look again what he said. He said it was legislated, like marrying multiple women was legislated for the purpose of there are widows in war.
Okay.
Who says this? Where is this found in Islam? That the reason that you're allowed to marry multiple women is because of this. This is the illah. Is this the illah of?
Yeah, that's fine. You're right, but that's
a big. But bro,
he owned it though.
Listen, no. First, let me finish my analysis of what he said.
Yeah.
Okay, because this is very significant. This is a perfect example of smuggling in feminism. Okay, first of all, he denies male sexuality. Okay, because he says that this is just a charity case. Marrying multiple women is a charity case. There are widows and they need a husband. So the whole purpose of polygyny is for the service of women. Okay, this is a feminist message. Okay, this is a feminist message to say that Islam is just for the purpose of serving women's interests and providing for them. This is not actually Islam. Islam does not say that, Allah has only allowed polygyny, marrying multiple women, because of widows in war. Okay, so the fact that he has said that this is the reason for it, the people who are listening to that, who are already inclined to find one man with multiple wives as disturbing and morally problematic, they're going to understand what he's saying is that that's the purpose. So in a situation today where we don't have widows from war, then it would be immoral and it would be un-Islamic actually for a man to have a wife who is not a widow from a war, to have a second wife or a third wife.
I think that's stretching
that is that's the message that they're getting. And if you notice his language, his language, he characterizes this as a practice from the past. He literally says it was a part of religion.
He said
1,000 years ago. He said 1,000 years ago. He distances this practice from today. He says our conception. But
he also said it's a part of the faith. Let's take a look at that bit because he said it's a part of the faith as well.
For widows, it's a part of the faith for widows. That is what he said.
You're being uncharitable, man. Honestly, this one here, I don't think he's saying it's only for widows. He said it's a part of the faith.
Again, like if you want me to find you a clip of Omar Sulaiman saying that polygyny is wrong, polygyny is actually it's haram. No, the way that they are counter-signaling Islam and turning Islam into a feminist simp religion is this distortion. Where did he say? Like, how can he claim? Be fair, and tell me where in Islam it has been written or said by any scholar. If there's no nas on it, then find me a scholar who has said that polygyny is for war. It's for widows in war.
No,
so did he invent something? Did he invent something in the deen by saying that?
Yeah. No, I thought what you were going to show me here was something that
he invented something, right? And it serves a feminist agenda. It serves a feminist narrative.
I think maybe you can make a link because you know the ayah in the Quran that he's talking about in Surah An-Nisa, right? So is this? He's if you fear that you will not be just with the orphans, right? So it's talking about orphans. So maybe he's saying war because of so they've become orphans because of war. That's maybe the link, right? And so therefore he's saying that so this was legislated. It's the Asbab al-Nuzul was originally for war, but then it was generalized because at the end of it he did say something to the effect of it's part of the faith. He said something else, it's part of the faith. So Look, I understand where you're coming from, but with this one, I think it's an overreach, a little bit of an overreach, bro, a little bit of an uncharitable one.
No, bro.
I mean, to be fair, the one that we found,
like the whole point is what is communicated by implication to an audience that is already liberalized and is already feminist. What is communicated to them by what he's saying? You've already acknowledged that what he said has no basis. Okay, to say that this was legislated for the purpose of taking care of orphans. You've already admitted that. That is a huge problem in and of itself. But the other bigger issue is that he's signaling to an audience something that is very destructive in their understanding of Islam, and it's actually causing destruction in marriages. Because this whole phenomenon,
I think you could probably find better examples in this one. Like, I mean,
I didn't prepare to have a whole. I didn't have. I didn't prepare for that.
I mean,
for this,
you could probably find. I don't disagree with your sentiment, but I think this is a bad example. Like, this one here is not the. He didn't say, like, if I listen to that, I didn't hear anything too egregious here, if I'm honest. But do I agree with the overarching point that they could confront feminism in a stronger way? Yeah, I agree with the overarching point, and I think that omission is as good sometimes as speech. And the fact that they haven't spoken about Western feminism for I don't know how long Yaqeen's been around for, that's the point to be made.
Almost
and
10 years,
decades. Yeah, it's too much, and I agree with that, bro. And I think they are appeasing the feminist women in their country. I do agree with that, bro. And these bits you'll find me agreeing with you, but
it's like international. Like this slop is affecting Muslims across the world because it gets translated. You have now automatic translation. 50% of their audiences in the East. Like this is a cancer that is not limited to the West. Yeah, they watch this stuff in Malaysia, Bangladesh, Pakistan. They watch it in Egypt. They watch it in Saudi. They watch it all over the Muslim world, unfortunately. And again, like I refer you to the RAND agenda. I refer you to RAND and the idea of propping up certain Western moderates, Muslim moderates, as role models for the rest of the Muslim world in order to secularize them and liberalize them. And this plan has been executed with such efficiency and precision. It's actually amazing. It's actually shocking the level that they have been able to shift the attitudes of Muslims in the Muslim world over the past 10 to 20 years, since 9/11, actually. And you'd be shocked how much some of these compassionate imams work with the United States government. They work with the United States government with counterintelligence, with counter radicalism, actually going to their meetings, going to their conferences, speaking as a Salafi Muslim or as a former extremist. Okay, and these are respected imams. And one person that I'll tell you, Yasser Qadhi, since you know him, Yasser Qadhi has a long history. And if you want to get a piece of that, a small piece of that, go to the New York Times article. Yasser Qadhi wants to speak about jihad. Go and read that article carefully and look at how much it reveals about Yasser Qadhi's interaction with the U.S. government and his relationship with the U.S. government, specifically on the topic of counter-extremism and counter-radicalism, which became the PREVENT program. In the UK, it became PREVENT. In the U.S., it's called CVE, Countering Violent Extremism. So
what does the article say exactly?
It says that he was working with these government officials. He was working with these government officials.
In what capacity?
Advising them on what extremism is and working with the people who, some of them RAND, like there are RAND officials that promote him. There are RAND officials that promote him. And the article has all these details about because the interviewer spent a lot of time with Yasser Qadhi when he was at Yale. And it's kind of like this profile of, a peek into the life of a Muslim cleric, an American Muslim cleric who went from Islamic University of Medina in the thick of fundamentalism and extremism. And now he's doing his PhD at Yale. And he has this problem because his past is catching up with him. And this was at the time of ISIS. It was the rise in the tide of with ISIS, and specifically there was one of the Al-Maghrib students who was the underwear bomber. He tried to blow up a plane with putting explosives into his underwear. So he had attended some of Yasser Qadhi's classes, Al-Maghrib classes. So the US government descended on Al-Maghrib Institute and interrogated all the students contrary to their constitutional rights. And the Al-Maghrib instructors cooperated with authorities and basically opened the door to the US government to come and tell them basically what is what, and violated their constitutional rights. They didn't put up apparently any kind of resistance. And the article describes all of this. And you'll notice in the kind of teaching of Al-Maghrib Institute, there's a big shift in what kind of topics they address, like what kind of positions they have on the feminist issue. Like they became extremely left-wing on many issues compared to what they were in the past. And it coincides with this intervention by the FBI and the US government. And this is only one aspect of Yasir Qadhi's involvement with CVE and counter-extremism. But it's a big example. You can read about it.
I mean, to be fair, if that's on the public record, then we can all look at that and see the extent of that. But I mean, to be fair, look.
Pull it up. New York Times.
Can you pull it up now? What's the name of it?
Yasir Qadhi wants to talk about jihad. It might be behind a paywall. I can send you the link.
We got it. We're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, but it's behind a paywall. If you want be able to actually see it,
there's a way of yeah. We've got this. One second. We've got this paywall.
Bro, like if you wanted to stream on this issue, like we could talk for hours. It's like very fascinating.
Yeah, but we have to look at, because they're not here to defend themselves, so we have to be on it and be fair as much as possible. We can't see the.
I sent you the link that you can see it.
You can see. I can see it. You sent it to me. Oh, okay. Okay. So what are you referring me to here now? What exactly?
It's a long article. Yeah, maybe you can like control FBI, for example.
FBI. There's not there.
Or it might be F.B.I.
Yeah. So what should we look at here? In 21 American, yeah, FBI agents
were demanding interviews with Qadhi students.
Yeah.
FBI agents were demanding these interviews, and Qadhi was urging them to cooperate.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
It's very bad. Like the number one thing that they teach you.
What's
the number one thing, like maybe this is not the case in the UK, but in the United States.
If an FBI agent comes, like, have you got a choice in the matter?
Not me personally, but
no, I mean, like, he was urging them to cooperate, but what's the alternative? Like, it's the FBI. If you don't cooperate, what's going to happen?
You have the right in America. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to plead the fifth. You do. It's a constitutional right, actually, and what every lawyer, every experienced person who is, especially like if you're a sheikh,
cooperate doesn't necessarily mean that.
It means cooperate in interviews. Cooperate in interviews with the feds. Like, this is a disaster because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. So, like, if that's not scandalous to you, I mean, this is my.
I can see a ta'wil of it. Like, for example, if like here we've got an issue with the UK as well, right? So
we can't hear you, bro. The mic is too
sorry.
far.
If a police officer stops you, yeah, and asks you questions and you don't cooperate, the FBI, bro, is a powerful agency. You know, I know that you have
to look at the laws in America, bro. The laws in America.
This doesn't.
Is that you should not. It actually you should. It's actually a disaster, and this is a message that I give to anyone who's listening, who is in America. Never talk to the police. Never talk to the FBI. If they come knock on your door, It's a standard protocol. Go to a non-Muslim lawyer; they'll tell you the same thing.
Yeah, don't make any
you
comments.
You tell them that, look, I'm not answering questions. Talk to my lawyer and
Yeah,
leave it at that.
Yeah,
they have no right to question. What these FBI agents want to do is they are fishing for any statement that they can use to incriminate you or
that's right,
incriminate your organization or your message.
That's right. Yeah.
And the worst disaster,
the worst, bring my lawyer into the equation.
Someone like Yasser Qadi is working with CARE. Okay, CARE, Council of American Islamic Relations. What is the advice of CARE? CARE gives the same advice. Never talk, never cooperate in these interviews, because they're just fishing for information.
The word cooperate here, man, because
no, go to the article. It says interviews. They're interviewing the students, and this is what the students said no, and Yasser Qadi urged them to do it.
Okay, so that's for me. That's not a smoking gun just yet. Is there anything else?
Yeah, there's plenty. It's a long article, and I haven't memorized it, but there's many examples of him working with these agencies that are
it doesn't look like anything too like pernicious here. If I'm honest, bro, I'm not. That here asking to cooperate with the FBI agent. Okay, he might be under the impression that if they don't, they'll be in trouble or something like that.
No. He is someone who knows enough about American law to know that you have the right to remain silent. He works with CARE. That is, had a long history working with CARE, and that's their number one advice. Do not speak to these authorities, especially if you're just a random Al-Maghrib student. Like, this is very irresponsible. And but the bigger point is that you've opened your door to the influence of these agencies. But I'll ask you, like, is it pernicious if there is a gathering, okay, like a national security gathering, where you have representatives from these agencies, these government agencies, and they're trying to determine a policy for extremism, counter extremism, fighting, this kind of these Salafi or these Islamist, political Islamic interpretations, a gathering, and a Muslim cleric, like an imam, joins that. Okay, joins that and is participating in CVE, in Prevent, okay, in the UK context for Prevent, and participates in that. Do you think that is pernicious? Do you think that is a smoking gun? Yes, it is. Okay, so Yasser Qadi has participated in that, and I'll bring you the receipts if you want.
Is that definitely confirmed?
Yes.
On the public record, yeah.
Yes. Give me 1 minute to pull it up.
By the way, I haven't prayed Maghrib or Isha yet either.
Yeah, go do that, and I'm gonna do both together now. Because I actually pray Maghrib and Isha together. Oh yeah. So guys, I pray Maghrib and Isha together. Taking the Shia position?
Not the Shia position, but because in the in England, in England we don't really have Isha time. Okay, so Shafaq al-Ahmar is not there. So the scholars in this period of time, a lot of them, they join Maghrib and Isha together. So you can do the same if you want. A lot of masjids are doing it now. Actually, a lot of masjids in the UK are doing it now. You can consult your local scholars. I'm just going to pray both of them, if that's all right. Or should we end it here? I mean, you want to?
No. I have to show you the evidence. Evidence because you made
Once you do that, I'm
qat'i statement. You made a qat'i statement that this is something that's pernicious and disqualifying. So I'm going to hold you to that.
Yeah, because the thing is, the 18 degrees Fajr time is 1 o'clock. So we've got 50 minutes. Yeah, another thing is,
just go pray. Or here, look, I'll show you. Just go on that same. Go to the same article on New York Times and just search May 2008. May 2008. On the same New York Times article.
Sure, but New York Times is not a reliable Islamic source, really, is it?
Islamic source?
Yeah, they could be talking rubbish. They could be lying. But let's look at it anyway.
No, there's many sources, but this is just one.
I can't read that. Can you read it out for me?
in May 2008, Qadi received an invitation from the Clinton analyst for a government agency that was hosting a conference on counter-radicalization. Wicks was recently named the senior director at the National Security Council. In attendance were British and American intelligence officials, including the Director of Homeland Security at the time, Michael Chertoff.
Okay.
Keep going.
During the break, Qadi stopped a Houston acquaintance who happened to work for Chertoff. I said, don't you think it's ironic that on one hand you're reaching out for my expertise and wanting my help, and on the other hand you're harassing and intimidating me as if I'm a potential terrorist? In the West.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Okay,
good. But so he's at attendance at the National Security Council, or a conference with the National Security Council. He was invited. The director of Homeland Security, Michael Chertoff, he's a Jewish Zionist, is there. And they're consulting Yasser Qadi for his expertise, and he's being quoted. Qadi was there at a break. It was happening in Houston, or there was a Houston acquaintance who happened to work for Chertoff, and says, don't you think it's ironic that you're reaching out to me, Yasser Qadi, for my experience, but you also harassing me? So the harassing part that he's talking about is when he comes from international flights, he goes through secondary screening at the airport. Something that happens to many Muslims. So he's saying that this is harassment, but you're also asking me for my expertise. So he's being consulted by Department of Homeland Security. He's being consulted by National Security Council. These organizations. Well, in 2008, as they're developing the policy that became CVE, and again, there are many other documents that I can show you of Qadi's involvement.
Well, I mean, if we were to be charitable to him, maybe he's trying to educate them as to what truth extremism is. Okay. No, maybe.
Okay, bro. So now you're going back. You said on camera that was disqualifying. It's pernicious, clear cut, and now you're making excuses. So I mean, it's clear.
Well, I don't know. Okay,
come on, bro. Like this is, you gotta get your personal.
You're telling the truth.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
Times is a far right organization. You have to find out what's going on.
Yasser Qadi has shared this article many times. Like, he promotes this article. No way. He's proud. He's proud that the New York Times has an article dedicated, like a long form. It's a very long article that he was being interviewed by I believe it's Andrea Elliott. Andrea Elliott, the New York Times reporter, was following him and talking to him over an extended period of time. He agreed to the interview for over months. The interviewer was going to him at his Yale classes on campus. This interviewer was going to him in his Al-Maghrib classes. Like, it's an in-depth profile of Yasser Qadi. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to disqualify it, he should disqualify it and say that, this is all fabricated, and the interviewer didn't actually spend months of time with me. They have pictures of him in his home. Like, go to the picture of him in his home in the article. Go, Zishan, just scroll down a little bit in that article. You can see him in his library. They're taking pictures at his desk. He has this huge library that he's sitting in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay, this is where the millions are going, by the way. The millions are going. Look at his library at his personal residence. So this is not representative. Huh?
There is. That's not even that. It's like, I thought I was going to see a palace, bro. This is normal room, bro. It's like looks like a.
Let's let the people decide. Show the screen. Show the screen.
Show the screen. I thought I was going to see Taj Mahal, bro. I saw this. I thought I was going to see Taj Mahal.
Yeah, that's a shack. You're right. That's a shack. Yasser Qadi, we need to donate. We need a fundraiser for Yasser Qadi. He's living in a shack. Look at that. This is in the New York Times, okay? This is the New York Times. So apparently he's inviting the New York Times to his house, in his library. He's looking very serious at the computer, maybe writing an email to Michael Chertoff. We're writing an email to DHS about, the extreme beliefs of these, radical Muslims. So come on, bro. Give me a break. This is...
Maybe he's making money from legitimate means, bro. Maybe he's a businessman. You don't know.
Yeah, he's making money from the millions in donations that they're getting.
No, you don't know that.
The millions in donations that they're getting. So do you think like he's a baker on the side? Do you think Yasser Qadi is baking halal cakes, or he's like a butcher?
Works in Lord's College. He works as a lecturer, bro.
No, he did. How much do you think a lecturer makes, bro? In the US,
I don't know, but you can get that house with it. I don't
no.
see a big. That's a shack, bro. That's nothing. That's not
with a lecturer salary, bro. Okay, I can't tell if you're being facetious or not. Like a lecturer.
I don't know about this. I don't know, man. It's not even all that, man. Let him live his life, akhi. You look like you live in a nice house yourself, bro. How big is your house?
No, I'm not gonna let him live his life. I'm not gonna let someone who is like working with the feds, working with the Zionists against the Muslims, to live their life and not say anything. And it's in our face. It's like brazenly in our face. Like this is being outed by the New York Times. It's not me like going through his secret files and like doing some kind of tajassus. No, it's being blasted on the New York Times, and people just don't read it.
Okay.
So how stupid are we? How stupid are the Muslims, unfortunately, that their main, like these celebrity imams are advertising that they're working with the feds, and then Muslims are still praising them and making excuses and shoveling money, like shoveling millions of dollars into their coffers as they're sitting there and doing their research in their grand library. Like, give me a break, bro. This is a disgrace. This is a scandal. This is a scandal of epic proportions. Like earlier, you were more mad. You were mad at hearing about Yaqeen and their 10 million per year revenue. Like this is equally disturbing, bro. This is a scandal. They have been robbing the wealth of the Muslims to push liberalism, feminism, this goy slop onto the ummah. This is unacceptable.
So how can we now, with all these mistakes that people make, should we think of ways to create great unity between us? Because although you make some excellent points,
I'm not going to unify. Are you going to unify by what's this guy, Rabbi Ferris, or with Tawhidi? No. Remember Tawhidi?
Tawhidi.
Are you going to unify with Tawhidi?
Is he a Muslim? I don't think he's a Muslim.
No, he says he's a Muslim. He says he's an imam. He says he's an imam. So are you going to unify with Tawhidi?
No chance.
Who's like working with Israel?
No chance, bro.
Like,
no chance.
No chance. Like what you described perfectly earlier in the stream, that what disqualified someone like Fawzan is that he's not independent. He is not independent. His positions are on the basis of a political motive. And that, in your eyes, was disqualifying. And I completely agree with you. That's why I disqualify a lot of these Wahhabis. And this is why I disqualify a lot of these compassionate imams. Because what they say and what they preach is politically determined. And sometimes their ties with the government is very clear, cut, and undeniable, like Yasser Qadi. And sometimes it's not as direct, like with Omar Sulaiman. Omar Sulaiman wasn't on any kind of prevent councils like Yasser Qadi was, CVE councils like Yasser Qadi was, but he was campaigning for the likes of Bernie Sanders, other Democrats.
That's different. That's different. He might think it's politically like expedient or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, like you said, he doesn't talk about feminism. He doesn't talk about these issues. So it's not independence. So I prefer that my imams, the people who I follow and listen to for religious guidance, that they don't have strings attached. And I think that's a standard that we can all agree with.
Yeah, and inshallah one day what will happen is we'll find the resolution. Everyone will be happy. There'll be great unity that will happen. And you've aired your grievance today. You've exposed some great truth. And
this shouldn't be my grievance. Yeah. I think everyone that's watched now has a grievance. I think everyone who has watched this and they see the $10 million, they see the statements, they see the quack like a duck. Everyone should have a grievance. Like I shouldn't be the only disgruntled one. We should all be extremely disgruntled. Inshallah.
We're disgruntled. All right, man. It's been a pleasure having you on, and it's been a long one, but we've covered a lot of ground. And I don't know how many people are watching your side, but I think it's going to be a fantastic. Can you just keep this on public? Yeah, it'll be amazing.
Yeah, don't private it, bro. Don't private it.
This one, because it's a special one, we'll make it public. This one, because usually we don't put the whole thing up. We usually put like 20 minutes up or something. But today we'll put the whole thing up. Amazing. It's been a pleasure, and inshallah we'll do it again soon. Yeah.
Okay, bro. Jazakallah khair. Really appreciate it.
Anytime, Habibi. Take care, man. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.